We're live. I hope you guys are ready for this. This is going to be so much fun. We have Redhat Scotty and Dirty John, aka Stoney, aka my big brother, aka the dude that has all the not bad habits.
I thought you were going to say habits.
Yeah. You don't have bad habits. You have I don't know. You're a bad influence. That's the word I'm looking for. So I will say that Jonathan is the reason we host car events. We attend car events at the level that we do. So we blame everything on him, and it's welcomed and fun.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So I figured what we would do. I definitely have to thank our sponsors first. You know, Andy's Computer Repair. Without him, I wouldn't be able to sit in the shop and do this. I'd be in my house. And my wife said, no more house stuff. You can't do it in there anymore. I'm tired of you sitting at the dinner table or in the bedroom laughing and joking with all your friends. She said, take it to the shop. So Andy's Computer Repair is the reason we can do that. And then obviously, Hawassi Tire and Lube for our tires. If you've seen any of our videos, it's burnouts and ice cream, baby. That's what we do here at Narcs Lifted Customs. So I'm going to let Redhat Scotty, who has been on before, you guys have seen him. We went a couple hours with him. Like an hour, a little over an hour. Last time talking about some race week stuff. We're going to dig a little deeper, and then we'll let obviously Jonathan Stonecipher go in. He's been on this like 6 hours of podcasting with me and tons of cool stuff and lots more to come with this. So why don't you guys kind of tell everybody a little bit about the projects you've got, and then maybe some stuff that's laying back that you haven't told anybody else about.
Go ahead, Scott.
All right. So, I mean, y'all know Redhat Scotty. I've done 7 drag and drive events. I've got the Rickety Rocket. It's my maroon 89 notchback LS turbo car. I've been fighting for a few years to get that 10-second pass at every track every day. So we just did that on 2.0 this year. We're still playing with that car. I've got some stuff that I'm going to do to it, but I'm not really going to talk about it.
Oh, nice.
Then just recently, I've decided I'm finally going to put my 91 GT back together. I've owned that car since May of 2002. I was 17 when I bought it.
Dang.
And it sat dormant off and on for a few years. Getting ready to order some stuff. Get that going. Then I think we talked about that last time, Narcs, about the neighbor hater, my RV.
Yes.
It's going to be a cammed 5.3 Terminator X 4L80 in an 89 Chevrolet RV.
That's awesome.
So I got a bunch of parts. If any of you guys, follow me on Facebook and stuff, you'll see my wife. She's got her Instagram page, The Clueless Race Wife. And she was actually pretty cool about how there was like 9 boxes that came in the mail yesterday.
Oh my God.
Just for the RV.
That's awesome.
So I've always got stuff going, but those are like the 3 main things usually. Also, the dude sitting across from me, my dad, a lot of you know him. He's got an 80 Ford Fairmont that we're doing a 6-liter and a turbo 400 in, make it a cruiser, it'll run up and down the road. We're going to shoot for somewhere in the 12s with it, but it'll be a fun little bomb around town car.
Heck yeah. Cruiser, man. Street bruiser.
Yep.
Well,
dude, yep.
Am I up?
You're up, dude.
It's my turn. I was looking here. Dino, he just posted, "What's up from Vegas? I'm drunk and I have my shirt off." And I was like,
yeah.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
So, Narcs has been over at the shop, Scotty, and we visited a little bit, and I've kind of put my stuff on side burner for a little bit, and I've got a friend of mine. His name's Stephen Hicks. I'm working on a '66 Impala for him. And through the last couple of weeks, we've been sitting down and visited, and hey, Nikko, lay it on us. So we decided we're going to. He bought my 565 that I had built for the Nova. Got the lifter issue maybe sorted out. I've been talking to Louis Floquet at Crier to help us kind of get that issue fixed that we had with it. The motor's fine. It just needs a set of lifters in it. Didn't hurt nothing. Just pretty much run time to figure out that we had an issue with the lifters, and then get it back together. And we're going to put it in his Impala with a stick shift.
Man,
So
that car's so cool. Dark blue, big booty Judy, man. That thing's awesome.
And we're going to try to have it ready for the April Dragon Drive is what our plan is right now.
Yes,
so,
let's go.
So we'll have it ready for it. I've been talking with Ryan at Gwatney Performance. Probably going to do something as far as a serious LS3 based motor for the Nova to go after a win in a small block. So
Nice.
I visited with him off and on and trying to figure out what I need to do and what kind of budget I'm going to have. And I went ahead and I've got a CID intake ordered and got Terminator X to put on the 6-liter that's in the car, so we can start making some changes and testing with what we got, so I can get the car sorted out and then just be ready for the horsepower.
Right. Stair step into it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the Michael scene, I drove another guy's truck last weekend, little V8 S10, little 750 cert, 400 small block power glide. And we're going to be doing some more testing with it. He's got a shootout that he's wanting to go to in November, and we're probably going to go over the next couple of weeks. We'll probably do some more testing with it. And we went a 585 first time out, and first time I'd ever drove it. So
yeah,
it'll be something we're hoping to be in the 530, 540 range after some testing. And I got ordered set of fresh set of tires for it. The tires, we used my tires on it because mine were better than his, and mine got like 60 passes on them. So they're not real fresh.
Right.
And then trying to think of what else we got going. I've got a driver car that had belonged to my uncle since back in the 80s, which me and Michael, we kind of discussed doing some podcast with just the cars as the focus of the thing, not necessarily racing or any of the other stuff, just the cars as the focus. So some of these cars can get out there and tell their stories, because this car, it's been in our family since like 1986. So
cool.
Yeah. And it was my uncle's, and he in 2019 he passed away from cancer.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's one of those deals. I hate it. Me and him were really close for a lot of years, and I worked for him off and on, and he worked for my dad. And I grew up with my uncle there close to me, and then his oldest son Jared, he hangs out at the shop, and he's actually part owners of the new shop with me.
That's cool.
And we're building that car as kind of a tribute to his dad and his dad's best friend, because they passed the car back and forth from him a couple times. And but he had always talked about the car. It was a street beater back in the 80s and early 90s. And then he'd always talked about the car was so nice, just wanting to make it a driver. So we're putting it back towards that.
Yep. And it's a 69 7 Camaro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah. It's really nice. Like dark blue, black interior. It's super, super cool.
And I'm a huge fan of first gen Camaros. Like if I ever come into money, or if I sell everything else that I own, I could probably buy one. But
I'm excited. We Jonathan kind of alluded to that a little bit, but we're going to do a ton of really cool videos around that car and interviews and reveal and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be really neat.
And I think that's something some of these cars need to get out there and have their stories told. Like Scotty's car, the red car he's had for so long. And then like my Nova, I've owned it for 20 years, and then I was a crew member on Outlaw 10-5 team for 3 years before I owned the car, caretaking for the car.
That's cool.
And then of course your grandpa's truck that you had, Stanley, and then Jared's dad's Camaro. We've got a Chevy 2 wagon we're building for a driver for another friend of mine. And I've known this car since I was a kid. It's set in a friend of mine's backyard, and we all went and oohed and awed and overed it. And then it ended up, it's my shop. We're building it as a resto mod style car.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's getting good parts. Like underneath is all good stuff. And I hope that it stays patinaed a little bit, and then nice interior.
I'm a patina guy myself.
Yep.
So like my Nova just happens to be nice and shiny and black because Todd, the guy I bought it from, was a body guy, and it's beautiful. And I've told most of my friends know that if I could figure out a way for the car to end up with nice patina and me not have to watch, I would be totally great with it. I just can't stand to watch it. But when I see a great patinaed car, I'm just like, and even like Alex Taylor's car with the partially real patina, simulated patina.
Yeah,
I love it. You just can't beat that.
Oh man, that car is so beautiful up close.
It is.
Like the pictures of it do not do justice. Like
none at all.
You have to get on top of that car to see how nice of a job they really did with that patina work.
Hi, Connor. Connor's my son. He just joined us here. I told him, I said, I'm going to do a podcast tonight. You got to kind of be quiet. And he's like, where are you going to do that?
Yeah. He's in the living room with it playing on the TV.
Yeah, it's on the TV, and that's like Season's gonna be like, hey, I can't even watch the TV. He's watching a podcast.
I can't even go in the bedroom. He's on it in there, and I'm watching him in the living room. Damn it, come on, that's funny. Well, let's run through real quick because there's some folks popping in here. So we got Connor, we got Swap's Performance. If you haven't done it yet, guys, he's like 947 subscribers. Go sub to his channel now. Nikko should be working, but he's not. He's in here hanging out with us. He'll be on in just a little bit. We got Carl Steamy, obviously, dude's in Vegas having a ton of fun. His Facebook feed has been awesome this week. It looks like it's a blast. Travis Wise, we know that dude, big time racer. Richard Dirty Panda on YouTube, always in here. Appreciate the heck out of that dude. Dan IT guy and Zach Slevin. All right, we're caught up.
Swaps. I seen your the patina wrap there. And we've actually talked about doing that. Big Gun's Camaro is wrapped, and that car is actually a beautiful Camaro. And it's wrapped to look patina. And we're actually considering doing that because I like it so much. I just hated to copy somebody else's style, but man, I just love a patinaed car. And
it's worth it. It'd be worth it.
And then you guys have seen my car so much as like beautiful and spit shine and stuff. If I just showed up with it and it's like rusty and patina and got bullet holes in it, you guys are going to be like, holy cow.
What did you do?
I really enjoyed because we kind of kept last year on 1.0, we kind of kept Boo's car a secret. There was, Zach knew and Travis Martin knew and a couple other guys knew that he had painted it. But as far as the most part, most people didn't know it's painted. And we showed up with it and it's blue instead of black. And everybody's like, holy crap.
Yeah. That car was such a good color.
Yeah.
Such a good color. What's crazy is Randy Kane was talking when he was on the podcast that the same guy that was going to buy Boo's or that bought Boo's car, I think, was trying to buy. Yeah. I was like, that's that dude's color. He's like, I don't care what it is. I'm buying it that color.
And we've kind of kept Boo's kept in contact with him, and he called me, and I guess the guy, he did some crazy passes at Bandamere, and he actually went at 8:16 at Bandamere, and they told him to leave because the car doesn't have a cert. He didn't. The belts are out of date, and the guy didn't have a neck roll or pants or shoes or anything, and they made him leave. He had so many violations.
They're like, get out of here. He rolls up in flip flops and
just keep rolling, bud, out the back door.
Yeah.
We'll open the back gate. Just get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Don't even pull back up to your truck. Drive that thing onto the house.
Yeah. While you're moving, son, why don't you just keep that thing moving on out the gate?
Yeah, right. That's crazy. So, hey, let's stay on that for just a second because we're talking about fast stuff. What's the fastest passes y'all have made in anything?
So actually on 2.0 this year, a month ago or whatever that was, I went 10:19 at 131. And that's the fastest I've ever been. ET, mile an hour, I've been 138, but ET, man. And normally anybody that's ever seen my car, it's like Tesla autopilot. You just get in and it goes.
That's awesome.
I had to drive that thing for once. Like it was actually a fun pass. Like I had to get in there and grab a hold of it and kind of wiggle through there.
That's cool.
And then the shutdown at Mad, Narks, I know you went through there.
Yeah. Well, we were doing 48 miles an hour.
That shutdown was wild. Like I'd raced there before and I kind of knew what to expect, but I hadn't gone that fast. The last time I was there, I ran 8th mile, like radial deal. And I roll through the traps, like I said, I'm doing 130. I had the fog lights on. So I'm like reaching up, like trying to bang the headlights on and like hanging on, like, oh, there's a chuck hole, and like had to dart over. And
Yep.
That was a fun pass.
Yeah. Jonathan, what about you, bud?
So the quickest I've been was in the pickup last weekend, and I went 585 and an 8th, and then 726 and 1,000, and I shut it off at 1,000 and coasted through it and went a 9. I went a 948, 948, 949, shutting it off at 1,000.
Yeah.
I like, I wish we had a 948 index class.
Yeah, you were on it. That truck was just super cool looking too. It's black and like 5% window tint. I mean, it's yeah, it looks cool.
That's one of the things I was going to have to text Christy Lipinski and tell her I found another black car to drive, because she gives me so much crap because I had the black Trans Am that I brought in 18, the black Mustang in 19, the Nova, and then now black S10.
Yeah, and even riding with Boo, you're riding.
Oh yeah, and the black Mustang. I wonder if Steven's going to get mad if I flat black his 66.
Probably not.
I was surprised, dude.
Yeah. Like the only thing I can race is black cars, bud. Sorry.
Yeah. And then the quickest 8th mile pass I'd made up until this weekend, I made in the stock block car that Steven owned. I raced it in 16, and then he purchased it from me, and we raced it as a big block in a car in 2017. And I'd been, I think it was 628 in the 8th in that car with the NA big block. And then I'd been in a quarter mile, the Nova, when I did drag week in 2014, I'd been 1031 at 135.
Man, that's awesome. That's getting down.
Now what is this? You keep saying NA. What does this mean?
And not even nitrous assist. No, I mean, he's talking like
no adder.
So now these NA things, do you have an 8-track player on top of the intake?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Full circle now.
Tunes it by ear, listens to the screwdriver. Hang on.
Yeah.
Yep. The rest of us over here click clacking on the laptop. Jonathan's just got the screwdriver. Like, check me out.
So the new setup, the big inch LS, is it going to be NA as like carburetor, or are you going EFI?
No, it's going to have EFI. That's why I'd ordered the CID intake. We're doing. I've already got Terminator X for it. That was. Yeah. I got a Terminator X 4500 that was going to be on the big block this year until I run out of time, and then I'd already purchased a Terminator X for another project car, the green Camaro I had, which you had seen, that had the 408 LS motor in it. And I sold the green Camaro, so I still had that. And I got to talking to Ryan, and he told me I'd be better off with the Terminator X instead of the 4500 on that deal. So I'm going to have, you guys will be happy with this, because I'm going to have the 6-liter that's in it with Terminator X, and then I'm going to put a plate on it to test. So I'm going to put a plate on there so we know how much power we need to make to run what I need to run. So
that's what I love about it. When we were talking about that, I was like, yes, this is awesome.
Oh, for sure.
So, that's cool.
It looks like we got a couple of, man. Look, Bill's in here. Bill Armstrong.
Dude. Hey, Bill.
We've got a Martin Ranger, man. So that guy is awesome, right? So we went out to Heartland Park, Topeka, which is our local track. Mm-hmm. And we went out one night, and he had his Mustang out there and started talking to him. And he said he was going to do 2.0. And sure enough, man, he was out there doing the deal. He went through the whole gamut of everything. If you guys ever get a chance to talk to Martin, do it, man. That guy is fun to talk to.
I was going to suggest that to Michael. I seen that he had posted up there. He'd had his car for 32 years.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome,
dude. And it's got a lot of history too, man. The Narcs, man, that might be a good dude to get on here, because he's got some history with that car.
Me to have Zach on here too, but I think his car owns him.
I don't think. All right, hang on. I got to make some notes on that. We got to put those dudes in there in the notes. And speaking of future guests, y'all know who I have on next week? Blaine and Tom Stark.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited to have those dudes on. All right, so we got to have Martin, Ranger, and Zach Slevin. All right. Got to make notes, man. It's hard to do that. Like, I've been on a couple the last couple of weeks. I think we're going to try and get to where we're doing 1 or 2 a week, which is pretty gnarly to try and keep up with and get some stuff done on my cars. So we'll definitely 1 a week for sure. Cause man, there's so many people that have cool stories is my problem.
I was trying to set up at the shop so I could listen in Monday night, but I was pulling a motor and transmission out of the 2-wheel drive Suburban. Nice. And I was trying to listen. And I'm like, I got impact going, and then like, oh crap! So finally, I just turned it off, even though I really wanted to hear what you guys had going on.
Oh man, every time. One of the things I like to do is when I'm down at my shop working on stuff is I'll throw it on. We've got a TV down there, and you'll get into it for a while, and then you're like, oh crap! I got a bunch of stuff I got to get done.
I got to work.
Yeah. Well, that's the bad thing. It's like Michael's been down at my shop. My audio stuff is at the opposite end of the shop as where I was working. So like when I was back there and I'd be doing anything, I couldn't hear it. So I was just like, well.
Yeah, you need to run I'll come over, we'll run some wires out there and then just pump some music into the work area.
I was going to say, I need to have some music back there. And then I need to get a little bit of help with the GoPro. I need some help setting up my speed on the GoPro because I put it on there and everything looks twitchy. I think the speed's set too fast.
Yep.
So I was going to tell you, because when video's fine, but when I try to replay it, it's just like twitchy.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah, we'll look at it for sure.
And then I thought about just like next time I'm like working serious on the Nova, just throwing the GoPro over, and because I look like probably like a squirrel on crack, because I'm like, I'm at the front of the car, I'm at the back of the car, I'm inside the car, I'm under the car, I'm on top of the car.
If I mounted a GoPro to my head and was working on stuff, like by the time I got done, the GoPro would be over there. I'd be over there. There'd be parts here. There's tools back there. Just a whirlwind going on.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's I've had a couple of times where I've thrown the camera up and like just live streamed if I've been out here by myself. Man, going back and like playing through that, you're just like bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
Dude, you never realize how much you move until you film yourself.
Yeah.
I was also thinking it might help when I lose that wrench. I can like, I'm going to look at the GoPro so I can find my tools.
That's exactly right. Yep.
I have no idea where I left that.
Yeah.
It's always a 10mm, right?
Yeah. And my drink. Like, so what'll happen is my drink will be gone and my car keys will be in the refrigerator and I don't get it.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
And I don't even drink. I'm like, I'm drinking Pepsi.
Pepsi and sweet tea,
Pepsi, sweet tea, Red Bull.
Yep. I think I've been over there a couple of times, 8 o'clock at night. Jonathan's popping a Red Bull. I'm like, dude, what you got stuff going on, man? He's like, I got to get to work.
Yeah, I got stuff to do, dude. Like,
yep. What's funny?
You don't worry. I can still sleep.
Yeah. What's so funny about Jonathan's shop is like, I get visitors here at mine. Jonathan can be out there, no lights on, doors closed. We're inside talking. Here comes somebody. Hey, man. Like, dude, there's always people at his shop. It's awesome. I would never get anything done. Or I'd be like, hey, grab that wrench. We're turning wrenches in here if you're going to talk.
So that's what's nice about my shop is I rent a 20x40 out of like a storage, locker place.
Yep.
And well, up until recently, it's an, automated gate. You have to know the code to get in. So if I got to go down there and get stuff done, I'll just go in and just rock it out. And if they don't know the code, they're not hanging out.
Yeah, they're not hanging out.
What'd you say your best ET was? I bet that's the code.
Yeah. Yeah, 1013, he's ready. That's awesome. Yeah, Steven has worked a ton out of a bunch of different storage units. Because they have a plug-in, he'll hook up some lights and just go to town.
Dude, we have one plug-in, and so like you got to watch what you're doing. Like, oh wait, we can run the welder, but we have to turn off every other light and everything else.
Yeah,
and then you're welding, got the flashlight over your shoulder, trying to buzz something in.
Yep, that's funny.
Hey Zach, I see your comment there. I'm just going to live stream that straight to Boo's phone.
Yeah, just all but crack. He's talking about here.
Yeah.
So I keep showing the comments because like this is live on Facebook and on YouTube, so like everybody has a chance to pop in and see what's going on. So yeah.
Oh,
butt
dude,
cracks
Zach, man,
everywhere.
you just get a OnlyFans, man. You'll be fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sure somebody would pay to see that.
Oh yeah.
Actually, they probably would.
Yeah.
Probably not me, but somebody.
Yeah, probably
would.
not me. Now
Yeah.
you can tell me about it, but I'm probably not going to watch.
Yeah. Be super hairy cleavage if they look. Oh my God. All right. So I mean, guys, literally, this is the first time I've never put any topics together. So we're just going to wing it. So, I mean, what do y'all want to talk about?
Well, one of the things I want to know about is how is Steven's car coming?
So we have a new steering rod.
Yes.
Ordered. So the struggle is, and I'm just going to get a little technical here for folks that are paying attention. So Project Adam Ant has a dirt track, like circle track late model steering rack in it, and the steering shaft was 19 inches that goes, back and forth. The point on the control arms is like 15 inches. So that's why it broke, because
okay, it was
just
that would
putting
also
so
make
much
the thing
force on it.
that also make the thing
Right.
have horrendous bump steer too. So it's probably a good thing it did break. So
yeah, and it did real bad. It did real bad. So the shortest we can get and still fit within the steering rack is 16 inches. So we're going to see what that does. That'll at least maybe save it a little bit. I don't know.
Yep.
And then other than that, the car's ready. He's tacked it together so he can push it around. But that's been it. So that part should be in. They said it's like a 2-week back order, and then it's a week to get here. So another week, probably another 10 days or something before it gets to us.
Right.
I love projects like that, but I can never I put this part on, then I put that part on, and then I got this part over here. It's a little bit better.
Yeah.
If I was building a car from scratch, I would never get anything done. I would just.
So that is a great segment to talk about, is the Perpetual Upgrade. Okay.
Yeah.
So
what had happened was,
here's what happens. Philip Bursey knows I give him shit all the time about it, but the black notch that he built, like that car, he had just a straight up, don't BS me clone, 76 millimeter, 5.3, gonna throw it in, make 600, no problem. Well, then he bought a bigger turbo. Oh man, well, then I got to have bigger injectors. So then I got to have a bigger fuel pump. Well, then I got to have a little better of this. Then I got to have a little better of that. And so he ended up spending all this time, like 2 extra years, building this car.
Then it broke. Is stuff not always that way? Because as you've known me, Michael, since you've known me, I've had 6 different motor combos in the Nova.
Yeah.
I mean, I've managed to stay the same car, but I've had different motor combos in it, and transmissions and stuff. And then it's like the guy that bought Antflow RJ come by today, and he's telling me, he's doing a torque converter and a couple more things, and the car will be back together. And he said it's always just something else. And I was like, dude, I've had my car 20 years, and it only needs right now it only needs like $3,000 or $4,000 worth of stuff to run.
Yeah.
And I've had it 20 years, and I've had it to multiple races.
Here's the thing I fight, because like the old truck runs great mostly. Now we're in a situation where I'm like, do I want to upgrade? Nope, it's fine. But it took me 5 years to put all of those parts together. And then, I ran it with the LS swap when I got tired of it was just a stock 4.8, stock 4L80, stock converter, everything. And I drove it like that for a year while I built the turbo kit and got all the parts together and all that kind of stuff. And then we yanked it out, and within like 3 weeks had it all back together with turbo. So
that's exactly like my 91 GT that I've had, since I was in high school. I haven't actually driven it under its own power in almost 6 years.
Dude, but that's crazy.
I've constantly had everything to put it together.
Yep.
The entire time, but I have like the ultimate love-hate relationship with that car. Like if you see my maroon car, my rickety rocket, I just throw stuff on it and we go have fun. Like it doesn't matter. But for whatever reason with that car, I got to buy nice stuff. I got to do this. I have to do that. Like I have a certain set of standards for that car, and it's always just made it the jack stand queen. But it's going to change. I'm priced, and I'm getting ready to order a bunch of stuff this weekend for it. And it'll be out this will be 20 years I've owned it now. So, well, I'm going to do it now.
Yeah.
Right. And that was the thing that caused me so long to get my car together the first time. I had it for, it was roughly 10 years before I drove it the first time.
Dang, that's crazy.
But during that time, Michael, though, I owned Ant Flow.
Yep.
I had a 95 Z28.
Yep.
I had the white wagon that I raced. I had the gold 72 Nova. And then I had a off-road truck. And it's like during all this time, I'm constantly buying stuff for the Nova, but I'm like what Scotty said, well, that's not good enough. I need something else.
Yep.
I bought the car as a roller, and then the first thing I did is I pulled the front suspension out of it, and I took it and had coilovers and tubular control arms put on it. And
Nice.
then the front end was so nice, I hated the back end, so I took the rear end out of it, and I had a Fab 9 and had it built. At that time, me and Robert Waits hung out all the time, and he had his car at my shop, and it had 12-inch wheels with 28-10.5s on the back up, and I was like, man, your car looks good with that.
Yeah.
So I took one of the wheels off his car and stuck it up under my car and just kind of mocked it up. And I'll post that picture here in a little bit. I just mocked it up, and I'm like, that's how I want my car to look.
Yeah.
So I called a friend of mine that did chassis work, and I was like, hey, I want to put a different rear end in my car. So I put a whole 12-inch wider rear end in my car because my car was set up for a 14 by 15 wheel with a 31 10.5W or 33 10.5W because it's outlaw 10.5 car.
Dang.
So like I bought a car that was like all I need to do is put a motor and transmission in it. Now I spent $1,500 on the front end and $2,500 on the back end on a car that was ready to run.
Yeah, and had already gone fast.
Yeah, and then I did of course drag week in it in 2014, and then I brought the car home, and I was heavily stock block racing at that time with Dad's car, and then bought the orange car, and I thought I really wish I had the Nova where I could go race it with a small block in it, but the way the front end was built, there's no way to put a small block in it with the way they had the motor plates in it. So I cut the front end off of it. I went out the shop and sawed the front end off and ordered a Smith Racecraft front end for it. So it's like, now I've got a car that I've already raced and was fine, and I cut the front end off of it.
You're crazy, dude.
And then like people look at me like, dude, you're insane.
You did what?
So let me back up and preface this a little bit. Like you had other cars to go out and enjoy.
Oh yeah.
Like if you have one that's just on the jack stands that you always talk about, like, dude, just get it done, get it rolling, get it driving.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be issues. There's gonna be, control arms are gonna need bushings because you're just
gonna want to change everything on it.
Yeah. I mean, like you might as well start driving it, enjoy it, do burnouts,
And the thing about it is that the guys that I work with, I'm always harping on them about narrow down your projects, keep it simple. Don't try to do too many things at one time. Don't ever take your car apart to where it don't run. Like I'm telling them, like, if you want to build a motor, don't use anything on the motor you got. Build a new motor. When we're ready, we'll pull the motor out of it and we'll put the other motor in. Don't get your car where it don't run because it'll end up like I did with Steven's car and it'll be sitting for a year waiting on me again.
That's why you just got to have more than one car, though. So
But then I tell them, like, don't do that because you can't focus because you'll buy a wheel for that car, then you buy a tire for this car. And that car needs a carburetor. This one needs a transmission rebuilt. So most of the guys, I'm like, and the reality of it is I could have a much better race car than what I have if I narrow down but I've got so many project cars and and stuff in it, and most of the time it's my fault because I'm too scattered. But like I've got a 77 dually project, and like it popped up on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm like, dude, I gotta have that. And I got it home and I've not even touched it. Like I got the thing where it's start and run and pulled out of the shop, and then I've owned it for almost a year now and I've not done anything with it. And then during the meantime, I'm like, I found this 84 wheel drive and I'm thinking like, dude, that thing's cool. Hey, that thing starts and runs. So I bought it. And then I bought Derek's 45th anniversary Camaro, which was a project. It had no motor. And then I traded for Connor's had 3 different race cars so far, and we haven't even got to the point of putting a motor in one yet. So it's like, and then I can't help it. And then like now, so with Steven making a deal on my 565, he's got his 408 that we had done for the Impala that we already had sitting in it, and I think we're going to stick it in my dually, and I may take it on the drag and drive.
Yes,
because I don't know. There's no reason why you wouldn't have like a 600 horse dually doing like smoky burnouts with and it's got the most perfect patina, and I'm just thinking, man, that sounds cool.
yeah. Everything needs 600 horsepower.
Yeah,
I mean, like it just does.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And here I am over here. I got the Narcs cart with no trans, or the trans is bad. It still has all of second gear, just half of first, none of third or fourth. So I can still cruise it around. And then the truck is on the frame rails right now. I've got to get I've got new springs for it laying in the floor. You got to get that stuff thrown in.
The Narcs cart just really needs a glide with a brake. That would fix lots of issues.
Yes.
If you did a glide with a brake, you could do better burnouts. Yep. And I'm telling you right now, it'll go quicker, and you'll never look at a Ford transmission again.
Well, so I was really hoping the motor would let go first. That's what I was hoping because it makes just such an easy LS swap.
Hey, I can fix that. The transmission's already out. There's no reason why I can't blow the motor up.
Oh, no. I better get a phone call. Will come down.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. If you want to
have nitrous bottle, will travel.
Yeah. Let Jonathan drive your stuff. I'm telling you.
So
the best thing is he doesn't care about your car.
No. Chandler just posted. Chandler's my son-in-law.
Yeah.
And I have a motor at his shop. That's the reason why it's not running.
That's so true too, because he went and got his it's a 50, right? He went and got the 50. He's got it all now, and he's like, oh man, what am I gonna do?
And he can be like, I would have my truck done, but John's got my motor.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I want to tell a funny story. So last year I talked a whole ton of trash on Chandler's Volkswagen, and he beat me all 3 races we did. And then this year, him and I foot raced, and he beat me again. So I am 0-4 against Chandler. It was for a good cause, though. We raised money for the shelter, so that's what matters.
Yep, that's great.
It was almost a really good video. I stumbled real hard.
I thought you were going down because I'm like,
it was great.
Oh no, he's good.
Yep. Yeah, there were people trying to catch me. I could tell. So yeah. Good times. I'll beat him one time in the future.
So, Scotty, I've got a guy that he bought the Trans Am that I took on race week in it'd been 18, and then I raced it in a local series called Stock Block Shootout in 2019, and then another friend of ours bought it. Yeah, Chandler the Lamborghinis.
Yeah,
and he comes, the guy that bought the car. I'm building a motor for him, and he's come down and he goes, hey, when I get this thing all wrapped up, he goes, I'll have you make the first couple passes in it. And all the guys are like,
no, don't do that.
In the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, hey, what's their deal? I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, he's like, well, I was telling them that I was saying that I want you to make the first couple passes, and they're all giving me the no. And I'm like, dude, like, I'm going to make your car run whatever it'll run. But if it breaks the transmission rear end or we ruin the tires, I don't care. Like, and if you say drive it like it's yours, that's how I drive mine.
Do not ever say that to him. The one thing is,
what's that saying that they're talking about? You don't drive it like you stole it. You drove it like it's a Hertz rent-a-car.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So Martin Ranger's saying put a C4. I'm assuming he's talking about in the Narcs cart. I think what the cart will probably get, unless we have some video blow up, I'm going to send a rod to the moon, and we're going to do a LS turbo setup in it. I've already got the turbo on it. I want to do that, and then probably like a 400. You know what I mean? Something easy.
So
hopefully though, Narcs, this time when you do the turbo kit, it won't be like 87 miles around the car to get to the turbo.
It's 15 feet long. I measured it the other day. The exhaust for the turbo kit is and it goes through catalytic converters. So it's like this total madness.
Connor's telling you not to get a fans only, and Will says yes to blowing it up.
Yeah. Yep.
I've made a pass across the field in the Narcs cart, and like as soon as I got in it, Mike had that look of panic on his face.
Yeah. When
And then
as we ran around about the 14th time, I was like, this is a bad idea.
like
It was so much fun though.
Oh my God. So when we first talked on the first podcast I was on, and you were explaining the turbo kit on the car, and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, guarantee as soon as I see it, I'm climbing under it. And when we were at the Holiday Inn, I got down and I started looking, you're like, do it.
Yeah.
No joke, guys. There is a lot of pipe down there. It looks
Yeah.
like Mario and Luigi were down there like doing some crazy plumber magic.
Yeah. What's funny is like the factory exhaust is 2-inch, so it goes 2-inch to immediately 2.5, and then loops back around. So if you want to lose exhaust velocity, that's the way to do it.
Man, we should just redo the setup, but do all 2-inch all the way around.
Nah. 2-inch doesn't look as cool if it's coming up the front. It's gonna look bad.
I'm thinking what we need to do is you need like 150 dry shot in front of the turbo, and then I'll do a burnout.
Dude, it's 100 shot now. That's what killed it.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
dry shot into the turbo. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care if the transmission's already done.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to do a burnout even if the tires aren't spinning.
Well,
Yeah.
Here's what's funny. If you will like second gear and mat it and shift to overdrive, it'll shift to third and fourth.
Oh
So,
yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, it'll be great. I bought a line lock while we were at Summit, and then I smoked the trans.
I'm just not really sure why it needs to come out a second.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
you got to get that wheel speed up. It'll only do like 100. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. Will's over here saying might as well do 150.
Yeah, do 150 is good.
Yeah,
I mean that'll work. Just
take
take the jet out. Who cares?
Yeah,
I mean, like
it's yours. Why would it bother me?
Here's the other side of that too. The tubing for the nitrous setup is at least 14 feet long or longer. So it's maybe 15. It wraps around the front pipe and scoots up and comes. Yeah.
And I'm not trying to throw you under the bus here, but it sounds like you like a long hose.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. That's right. The longer the better, baby. What else? What else we got? So let's talk progression of like builds. Like, did you start with nitrous, move to turbo? Like what is y'all's? John, have you ever owned a turbo car, John?
I purchased a turbo car in 2016, and I promptly sold all the turbo stuff so I could go NA racing. And then actually my Nova was actually a turbo car to start with, and it come with all the turbo stuff, but it was at that time the racing the level that they were at, it was not in my budget to do a turbo build at that time. I mean, the stuff that I had a 500-inch motor, and it was going to have a $4,000 turbo.
No, ouch.
And back then they didn't have the stuff like they have now. You didn't call up VS or one of the companies and get a anywhere from $900 to $1,500 to $2,000 turbo. Those didn't exist. Yep. There was Precision and Borg Warner and those companies, and like my car had a Precision 106 on it, and it was like a $4,000 turbo.
Yeah.
And I had all the piping and all the stuff except for the intercooler to do that. And then when I bought the orange Malibu, I bought it to stock block race because it already had the cage in it, and we were mulling over Dad's car Ant Flow at the time, putting a cage in it and doing this and that, and it was just easier to speed up the timeline for me to just buy a rolling car. And it actually had been a big block turbo car also, and it had the intercooler, headers, all the piping and everything. And looking back, I maybe should have done something down those lines. But at the time, I was heavily involved in the stock block, and I'd won the championship in 2015 in the small block NA class, and it's just where my heart was. And sometimes your heart leads you to places that it's like even right now, I could take and probably do an LS turbo build and go be what I would consider competitive at Rocky Mountain. The problem is for me, I can go to the track and I can be one of 50 LS turbo cars there, or I can go and be one LSNA car that's as fast as the turbo cars. And that's just where my heart is. And I can't help it. You know, as a kid, I watched so much stuff with watching Pro Stock, NHRA Pro Stock and Super Stock and Stock Eliminator and stuff. And I guess that's just always where my heart fell. So, and I don't have anything against any of the other stuff. You know, of course I've crewed for Boo for years, and Todd Kitchen with the turbo Trans Am that I used to travel with before I had Connor, and then of course helping Timmy with his program and everything, and then I've tuned a couple different nitrous cars for other people. Yeah, that's right. Will.
Yeah, Will Taller says I love big cube NA stuff too. Just can't afford it.
Yeah.
Well, and so like the NA stuff. I mean, I always poke fun. You know, you got the 8-track. You know, that's not me, but I respect the hell out of the guys that do that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I really want to see you get that car done with that, you know, NA motor and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's super awesome. I just don't have the patience to do it myself.
I was set this year with what I had in the car for what I was going to take to Rocky Mountain 2.0 this year. The car should have been a 920 car, so it would have put me right in the mix of things with Havlik and Carlos and them. I think Carlos' car still got a little left on the table because he had no sort out time or anything. Yeah. And Havlik and them, they don't have what I consider a lot of passes on their car, but they've already been some 920s, and they probably have a 880, 890 capable car. And I would say Carlos is probably right there, but my car was going to be probably 920, 930 car maxed out. You know,
that's crazy.
But Zach, I don't know yet. That's going to be something that's kind of up to Ryan. I don't know. We're probably going to be somewhere in the I'm going to say probably 408 to 420 range. And it'll be
somewhere from like, 325 to, 440.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere in there. Yeah. Big window there.
It'll be over 400 inch. And I like the LS3 base stuff. Unless he wants me to go with like a LS7 style head, it'll be LS3 based, and cool. That's what my stuff is now. But he has those of you guys that don't know Ryan, he has the quickest LS3 stock short block car in the country, and I think they got the record at 855, and it has a stock block, stock crankshaft, stock pistons, stock rods, stock bolts in it.
That's
and they've been 855 NA, and his car it's pretty light. It's well under. Yeah.
Yeah. Tim Purdue saying if Ryan Stevens is helping with the NA build, it will be a badass combo.
Yes.
Hey, speaking of Tim, when are you going to drag your stuff out and come do one of these events with us, bud?
Dude, he was at the shootout.
He was at the shootout.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've known Tim a long time. That goes back to probably 2002, 2003.
Wow.
He's local to me. And I bought a bunch of stuff off him throughout the years. He used to run a website, purposebuilt.org, and that was our forum deal back in the day. And Tim's always had some cool stuff. He keeps saying he's going to do it, but where are you at, Timmy?
Yeah, that Camaro he's got is gnarly.
So
gnarly.
We're sitting there as me and Michael and Steven and Stephen Hicks and Jimmy, the guy that owns the S10 that I was driving. We're sitting there and they come by in Tim's car. And I told Jimmy, I was like, dude, I don't know how you're getting your truck home, but I want to take that home with me. So I was like, I don't know what you're going to do. You're probably going to have to drive yours home because I'm taking that.
It's so nice.
Yeah, it really is.
Tim's had some cool stuff over the years. Going like way back, he had a 4.6 2-valve car, but it had that nitrous system that sat under the injectors.
Yeah,
he played with that for a while. Then he had is it the Vosmos or Cosmos purple GTO, and it was turboed. It was super cool. My ex-girlfriend did beat him one time.
Nice.
Never will let you forget that, Tim. But no, Tim's a great dude, and he's had a lot of cool stuff. And I'm glad that he's got that car more sorted out. He's been going through some rough stuff, but it was cool to see him making them passes on Saturday.
Yeah, he sorted it enough to take his class.
Yeah. Sure. that was super cool. I was very proud of him, that he finally got it, because I know he's been fighting it. So
yep.
And what did I see that thing run? Was it a 5-teen up there? Was it in the teens?
Tim, where you at, man? What it run?
I know that on the pass, I think he ran against Jesse. It was like a 585.
Okay.
I think was that pass. Now it probably went faster throughout the day.
I was thinking I'd seen it go. I was thinking 580.
580. Yeah.
I thought I'd seen your car go 5-teen. I was like, oh, that thing is bad.
Yeah.
And it's streetcar. Like
everywhere. Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, he cruises that thing to Sonic, gets ice cream, drives home.
Yep.
Like
that's what I'm talking about. Yep. He needs to come down. He needs to come back down in April. So let's talk about the Dragon Drive.
Yeah.
You want to do that? All right. So, we host a charity race, the shootout, which was last Saturday, that we've done for 9 years, 10 years next year. I can't believe it. 10 years and $10,000. That's our goal. We're going to go ham. So if anybody that's listening to this wants to be a sponsor, let's go. Let's get down, raising money for the Northwest Arkansas Children's Shelter. Every dollar that's raised goes right to them. We don't take nothing.
And that's the circuit, right?
Yeah.
So I've come down and ran that before.
Yeah.
2017. Awesome. That's where I went down there and I hurt my 6-liter, and then
You're welcome.
Yeah. That was the fastest mile an hour I've ever gone. Yeah. Was at that track at that event.
That's cool.
And then I had to have the dude the razor drag me back because it was rattling.
So, Scotty, it could be worse because usually by the end of that time of the year, everything I own is broke, so I have to borrow something.
I mean, some days are like that.
Yep, that's exactly right. So Dragon Drive event, April, we do it to the first weekend or second weekend of April, maybe this year, because that was our dad's birthday. So, anyways, we're discussing Jonathan's part of the planning committee board group. I don't know what we're going to call ourselves, but we're thinking about race Friday night at Mocam, have a drive day Saturday, drive to Sedalia, Missouri for the 301 streetcars, who's a huge part of our event, and then do their cruise night to kick off the season, and then cruise back Sunday to do the to race again. And I'm thinking maybe like turn in 2 passes per day or something like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I will say though, if we're cruising to Sedalia, the meat spot has to be Goody Steak Burgers.
Absolutely.
And that's what it is. That's what it is. So like 301's first cruise night of the year is at Goody's the second Saturday of the month. So I'm seeing if Carl and Craig at Mocam will allow us to scoot back a week and combine the events. So I think that'd be super cool.
Oh, that'd definitely be fun.
So would be racing on Friday and then Sunday.
Yep.
Drive day Saturday. Okay.
Yep. And I think that would just.
Oh yeah.
I want a drive day in there because Jonathan and I have talked about this, but I'm going to pull back from me racing and I'm going to record and document. So I think that'll be way more fun for me. It was a lot of fun this year. I took 167 videos on Saturday alone. So it was wild.
And that's at some point, you've got to do where your heart is, and I feel like me and you talk. I really feel like your heart's more towards the videography and promoting than it is the actual racing. Yeah. It's not that you don't enjoy making passes.
Yeah, I like making passes. I'm just not a very good racer.
Neither mine.
It's a great thing. I gotta go.
What was that? Horrible Bosses, where he said he runs the red light and he's like, "What are you doing?"
I don't win a lot.
I don't win a lot.
Yeah. Hey, I did beat Doug Cook this year though, so suck it.
Oh,
yep. He spun real bad and then stayed out of it. So I took on off.
It gave that cart everything it had.
Yeah, I was like, when's he coming? It's going to make a great video. Then he never came. I was like, dang it.
Nikko, absolutely.
What's he saying? Where?
He says, I just got all situated.
Come on in, dude.
Yeah.
So this is my mama right here. She says, fun listening to us, guys. I'm going to have her on soon. She just doesn't know yet. We're going home for Thanksgiving. That's probably the first time she's heard that too. Because her and I don't talk. She talks to my daughter and wife more than she talks to me. And then, Tim, here we go.
Hey, Tim, Boo had called me and we just didn't think we could be ready that soon. We really wanted to go, but man, he's got a new car, new combo and stuff. And I just don't think we can be ready in February, but I'm going to be watching you guys. I'm excited for you.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're going. I'm registered.
All right, guys. So we got to get out of the way. Sick week.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that have already got registered for it. I am not one of those yet.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be Captain Lightning Fingers Saturday morning.
Yeah.
I got permission from the wife, so I can go. I just have to get the spot.
Nice.
I've got the dude. He's driving the truck and trailer down, and if I can get in, we're doing it.
That's awesome. Bring it on, dude. It's gonna be a ton of fun.
If anybody from Sick Week's listening,
hey, somebody tag Tom Bailey real quick.
Call me. Yeah, hey Tom.
Yeah.
Where you at, man? Yeah. I'll buy a ton of hot dogs for the hot dog truck, man. Just
and
give me a spot.
Stuff, all that cool stuff. Dominic, I'm editing the Dominic and Cassidy video now. We did a really good walk around on the row of stuff that they brought, and then I should have that out later with a ton of cool burnouts from them. I don't think I took very many videos. The dilemma with the GoPro is it doesn't have the length to be able to record down the track. So a lot of times it's just the launch that I record. So, and then Will's talking about wanting some, let's do some drag racing at the drag and drive against the old truck, which is the plan to take. I'm not going to take the cart. I'll take the old truck, and we'll have everything sorted by then, and going to have a ton of fun. Let's see. What's my mama saying here? It's the only time I hear Michael's voice. That's true. So my daughter will come running in. Oh, I was just talking to Gran. Like, dang, I ain't talked to her in a month. But my dad used to say grandkids are way better than real kids. So that's probably what it is. So,
I've heard that. I've got one on the way. So,
man, dude, you're going to be such a good grandpa. It's going to be awesome.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, Connor. I failed as a dad, but I'll have to try again. I'll try harder as a grandparent. Sorry, son.
Yep, that's exactly right.
And so, Connor's birthday is actually December 17th, and the baby's due the 20th. And I told him, I said, son, if this baby comes on the 17th, you're going to have to forfeit your birthday. We're just not going to have it anymore. I said, 16's old enough. So
that's awesome. Streetcar Chronicles, guys, go follow their channel too. Great stuff over there. Met them at the kicker stop on 2.0. Cool dudes. And Randall Savage, that's a great character. I'm telling you, great character. So, tons of fun. It was cool to see everybody in here. What were we talking? We were talking about something else, and then I completely squirreled off on something.
That's what we do, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were talking about nitrous and turbo stuff and how you've never owned anything, and then all Red Hats
talking about progression of cars.
Yeah. So John's never owned a turbo car for more than a couple days, and then. Redhat Scotty, tell us your stuff, and then we'll get into Sick Week.
Did you add Nikko in before we get rolling?
I don't see him backstage there.
He says he's chilling in the steam yard, according to my little cellular.
Well,
while we try to get him figured out,
so you got to enter the studio.
He's just waiting, just watching himself. So anyways, the progression of my stuff. So I've had like 15 Fox Body Mustangs since I was 16. I'm 37 now, so over 21 years, I've had 15 cars.
I can't believe how young you guys are.
Dude, it's wild. Like I'm 40. And then like Nikko, I think he's a young dude too. But
there he is.
He's a nitrous guy, so this is laid out perfect. Turbo dudes and then nitrous.
Which I gotta say, man, I gotta give him the introduction. This is Nikko. I met him on Race Week. He is the ultimate destructor of anything. You could literally hand him a bowling ball and say, hey, man, can you just break this in half? He would apologize and hand it back to you. Like, dude, I know you said in half, but here's 3 pieces.
My bad.
No, never apologize for that.
Yeah.
So, on the same token there, I was broke down beside the road the first time we actually met, and he like slides to a stop and goes, hey, brother. And I'm like, you actually are my brother.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, dude, tell everybody. So we did some early on intros. So tell everybody that since you're here, tell everybody kind of what you drive, and then obviously how many 10-bolt rear axles you've destroyed.
All right, I'm Nikko. I got a 79 Chevy Malibu, small block, stick shift nitrous car. It was a 4-speed car. Now it's a 6-speed car. I've blown up, I don't know, countless carriers and ring and pinions in that thing. Twisted a couple of sets of axles. But that's a thing of the past now. So. Yeah, I think someone said on the last stream that I single-handedly made the price of those go up or something like that. So I don't know if that's true or not. So yeah.
Yeah, the Nikko tax. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. You told a story that time where you changed the ring and pinion or the carrier in a parking lot because you had broke it doing a burnout in front of a gas station or something like that.
Oh, that was on 2.0. I did that on it was like right in Oklahoma, in the middle of nowhere in Perkins or something like that. And yeah, I did it like right on the side of the road in like the entrance of a hay field. And there was like hay trucks coming in and out of it. They were like pulling out bales like while we were doing it. So
That's
it was pretty funny. And then the people that helped me, we actually stopped because it was on the route on 2.0 this year. So we just pulled in to say, hey, the guy that I got the ring and pinion from out of an S10, and his whole shop was burnt to the ground.
Oh, dang.
Mission Towing in Perkins, Oklahoma. I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now, but they were good people. And I go there, it's just nothing left. There's like a couple of I-beams and just reduced like sheet metal panels, of the building, just like all crumpled up and just all heat annealed and everything from it being burned down. So I guess they had like a bike in there that got hot or something like that, and it took the whole shop out. So,
man, that's wild. Yeah. Here's what's crazy, and it just hit me. Like, think of like that'll be a story you'll have forever. And anytime you're near Perkins, Oklahoma, you'll be like, dude, that guy hooked me up, and then his shit burned down.
Yeah, right. Every time I'm over there, I'm gonna pull in and say, "Hey, that's for sure," So see how they're doing. So
that's crazy.
Right.
But you've changed that now. You've gone 9-inch and all insanity out back.
Yeah, spool 9-inch Mosier axles and all that. So hopefully it holds up for a little bit.
What are you going
to do? That's only because he couldn't find more 10 bolts.
Yeah. I think I already like outweighed the price of a 9-inch in 10 bolts before I did it. So yeah.
What are you going to do with your extra time?
Oh yeah, man. I don't know. I was 2.0 this year. I was helping out Jeremy Trott with his wife's car after hours with like some airbags on it and stuff like that. But just hanging out, Same thing. I was watching Royce Payton trying to pry bar his distributor out and stuff like that. So that was pretty crazy. Just hanging out, man. It's pretty cool.
Dude, that's what. And then you actually got to meet my brother, but didn't know he was my brother early on, right?
Yeah. He welded my clutch pedal back together for me, or my the clutch master rod together.
Yep.
And I was like halfway through, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Mike's brother, by the way." I was like, "Oh, sweet, thanks, man. I appreciate that."
Yeah. He was like, he's like, "I think you've had that dude on your podcast before or something." So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Here we go.
See, that's exactly what I mean, Nikko, dude. Things that shouldn't break, you figure out how to break them.
Yeah.
That was when we were in Enos, Texas. You pitted, right on the other side of Jared Gwynn, and everything right there. And you're like, dude, I broke my seat. How do you break the seat?
Yeah, that I don't know. It's because of the that 411s from 373s, and then I put a pair of drag shocks in instead of like some blown out part store shocks in there, and I did like a 1.5 60 foot. I think that's just what finished that thing. So I don't know,
dude. Your seat literally G-body shuffled.
Yeah, just snapped it in half.
That's awesome.
I'm not a light guy either. So I'm like 220, 230, something like that. So. And putting a testing on that seat for sure.
It definitely took it to the limit.
Yeah, especially the violence of nitrous stick cars.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like a ball bat upside your head. Letting go of the clutch on nitrous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a Mark McGwire home run.
That's one of the things that Steven's going to be experiencing pretty quick with the Impala, because it's going to be nitrous big block stick shift. So
dude, that car's going to be wild.
So I told Adam Dory, I was like, I'm hoping like Webster's call, and they want a picture of the car to put in the dictionary as the definition of violence. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, that car's going to be nuts, man.
I'm hoping that it may not even get out of its own way.
I doubt that. I mean,
I think even on a bad pass, it's still going to be a good pass.
Yeah, no, that's why I told him the other day we were talking about the progression from that car. We went from a 327 to the 408 that we didn't even get running to putting a 565 in it. And I said, you realize this thing is going to be like fast enough to need a cage cert just like now. And he goes,
Oh, most people kind of like walk up into that. You guys were just like,
nope.
Yeah.
327 that made 148 horsepower
Yes.
straight to a 565.
It was a 16-second car. So
Wow.
That's awesome. Well, hey, let's talk sick week, because Justin Chestnut is texting me right now. He just started up, and I know everybody's tired of looking at this, but look how gorgeous the car is we're taking.
yeah.
Yeah. Stock 350, Detroit speed, or not Detroit, Detroit diesel blower on it. He just put the transcooler in and just started it up. So it's exciting. It's exciting. We're taking it for sick week. I'm flying in and I'm literally documenting all week. So it's going to be weird.
could you just put a GoPro on the side of your head and just let it run full time? That way we don't feel like we've missed out. Because
Yep.
I mean,
so you and I talked about, dude, I'm gonna live stream from the pits a ton. I'm gonna talk to a ton of people, and I was gonna do that for 2.0 this year, and then that did not happen because we were working on the cars.
because you got that and you got called to the lane.
Yeah, so I won't be getting called to the lanes anymore. So I'll spend a ton of time up at the lanes talking to folks, and I've been doing some research on how to get good signal anywhere we're at for my phone. So a lot of times if you're going to go live, you've got to be able to do that. So I want to say, hey, thanks to Destroyer 1320 for some money, for some gas, for the Roadster.
The Roadster.
Yeah. So for everybody that's listening, Destroyer 1320 is a total awesome dude. He has helped me a ton grow the channel. So certainly appreciate that guy. Yeah. So it's not a Roadster though. It's a 29 Model A or something like that. So it ought to be a ton of fun. It'll be the first non-overdrive car that I'll be in all week. I've ridden with Stoney a little bit in the Nova before I couldn't handle it anymore. And then I think it was like 2.5 hours. We pull into Oklahoma City and I'm like, it's 174 degrees inside the car and there's no breeze. And I'm like, dude, I just want to take a nap. He's like, don't lay down.
So Will got him some of that because Chandler was like ready to check out, and on the Dragon Drive earlier this year. So Will was riding with Boo in the Mustang, and Chandler was riding with me, and he goes over and he goes, "Hey Will, you want to ride in a Nova?"
And everybody's like, "Yeah, man,
yeah." So he comes over, gets in. I was like, "What's the matter, Chandler? Done?" He goes, "What?" I was like, "Oh, nothing. You're fixing to find out."
Dude.
So then our next stop, I've got a picture of Will, and he's like,
like your eyes are red. Looks like you've been smoking a bunch the last like 2 hours. It was a brutal car, and that was that was just a small block, right? Or was it?
That's the small block in it. Yeah.
Looking like you're hanging out with those guys.
Very similar to that.
100%, dude. It was brutal. And then we pull and we come driving into Oklahoma City, and it was hot, and it was hot. I was overheated and high as hell. And Jonathan spent all week in the car. He's like, nope, this is me.
Oh man, so this year on 2.0, you guys probably saw the picture of me sleeping at the summit.
I did.
Yeah,
dude. So we left OKC, and a buddy of mine was with us, and he had a bunch of random issues pop up on the drive, and he had to fold. kind of sucked, but we backtracked and took him back to a hotel. And me and the dude were like, all right, man, we're rolling. We're going. We got to get to, Arlington. So we fly in, made it to the Buc-ee's. There we go.
I almost grabbed my koozie. I got one too.
So we slept at Buc-ee's for 2 hours and then drove that morning into Summit. When we got there, it was like maybe an hour before they opened. And there's some like grounds guy, like weed eating or whatever. Like, hey, man, like, where do we park? He's like, dude, I have no clue. He's like, I just mow the grass. He's like, somewhere over there. So we find the one shade tree that's in the parking lot. And I get out my moving blanket from the trailer and I'm just like passed out underneath the car. I can hear everybody rolling in that's working that day.
Yeah.
And then like I wake up hour or so later, they put the cones out, for the checkpoint, and we're like 6 spaces outside of that. And nobody woke me up, like nobody came by. Then we went inside, walking around, and there's a bunch of people that work there like, oh, you're the guy that was sleeping in the parking lot.
We thought you were homeless.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. Dude, we walked in there and I almost laid down on the floor. It was, I don't know how you guys do 1.0, but if it's hotter than that, I'm out. Oh,
dude, I didn't do 1.0 this year, but I saw the carnage from the heat. Man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, kind of happy I missed that one.
1.0 this year, my co-pilot Corey, he tapped out like halfway through from Colorado to Kearney, and we had to stop like a Dairy Queen and get some like slushies and everything. And the same thing, I got a picture of him like stuck to the window looking like a zombie. Like he wasn't gonna make it for sure. We had to stop and let that man get some air.
Dude, and so actually that brings up a good point. So we saw everything that happened with the heat and that happened on 1.0. I changed the front end of my car just for 2.0 because I knew we were going to Texas. Yep. So I historically have always been like an Aero front end Fox body guy. Well, I run them, but my heart has always been the 4-eyed cars. So I found a hood and I put a 4-eyed front end on my car just so I could have that extra hole in the front for the air. And it was worth it, man. It was like 10 degrees cooler than normal.
That's great. You race car guys. I'm out there driving a stock 4.6. It didn't have any trouble.
I'll be honest with you guys. I train for race week. Usually at the start of summer, I drive to work and back without air conditioning and the windows down. And seriously, because if you don't condition yourself for doing some of that stuff,
oh man,
you're looking to be hurting. Like if you take somebody that's used to riding in air conditioning and working in air conditioning all day, which I work in an air conditioned office all day. I mean, that's what I do. I sit behind a desk, but I try to get up and get around. And like I said, I drive down and then I work down at my shop. My shop, half of it's heat and air and half of it's not. And I usually work in the hot because if you don't condition yourself to that, you're going to be hurting. It's going to be bad on you.
Yep.
Oh, 112%. You're totally right on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
except for Nikko, he's a badass. He's younger than us, so
yeah.
Luckily, everything I own has no AC, so I'm good to go. So
permanent conditioning.
Yeah,
exactly.
Hey, speaking of that, let's talk normalizing shitty daily drivers because Nikko has a fast race car that you've been dailying for a while because you're shitty
since
daily.
2.0. Yeah.
Yeah, you're shitty daily.
Yeah, it's still dead. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Dude,
right now too, because I'm in the boat industry, so everything's like starting to get cold around here. So I've just been too busy working and winterizing and doing stuff like that and trying to make the money while I can. So I haven't been wasting my weekends trying to cobble that thing back together. So I've just been driving the car because it's been running so good. So the only thing is that it's been getting into like the 30s in the morning now and there's no heat in it. So I'm going to figure out something about that. So
yeah.
Got that Carhartt on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get the outer shell on. Yeah.
As loud as that car is, you don't want to let it warm up in the mornings to let that radiating heat come through.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Scotty, what do you daily?
I drive a HHR.
Nice.
I catch a ton of crap for it, but I love that thing. It was my wife's car. And then when we moved 2 years ago, part of the deal is if we move, she gets a new car.
Yeah.
And we made it happen. We got her a new GMC Acadia. I got the HHR. I was super stoked. I love that thing so much. It's the 2.2 4-cylinder 5-speed.
That's a race car. That's a race car.
And yeah. So hey, actually, we got the dude. So the dude's over here real quick. Let's see if we can get him in real fast.
All right, you're gonna love this. He bought this HHR for his wife to stick. She didn't even know how to drive it, so he says it's for her. You know damn good well it's not.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So hang on, you had to teach the wife to daily this thing?
Yeah.
That's nice. She's like, I hate you.
So when we bought it, we were looking, and this was right when we had our first kid, and we're young, we didn't have a bunch of money. They wanted like almost $3,000 more for the same HHR, but an automatic.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, like you can learn to drive it. Like it's not bad. She got really good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, she drove that thing daily for 3 or 4 years.
Man, that's crazy. Baby in the back. She's bottle feeding.
Oh, dude, banging gears, throwing bottles.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But no, man, I love that thing. Everything on it still works. Honestly, of everything I've ever owned, it's been the best car I've ever had.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, see,
it's got 220,000 miles on it now, and it still rocks like none other.
That's
Nice.
Famous last words, though.
Yeah. John drives cool stuff all the time, though.
Oh yeah, I just parked my 300,000 mile Suburban that I got for $800. I drove it for 3 years, and then I bought a totaled 05 Tahoe, which it's just all cosmetic, but it's got 80,000 miles on it. So, and my boss is like, "So are we going to run that through the shop and fix that stuff and paint it?" And I was like, "No, why?"
Yeah.
I was like,
It got me here, didn't it?
I'm already married. What am I going to, if I have a nice vehicle, am I going to be more married?
Yeah, right. That's right. What's up, 815? Hey, 815 has started selling these trim rings for Mustangs for the front bumper. Redhat Scotty, you need to look at these things. They're pretty awesome. He's selling a ton of them. Super cool. All right, so you daily an 80,000 mile Tahoe because you're fancy. Nikko daily, Nikko daily drives the race car. Redhat Scotty does. Y'all, I've been dailying a 93 Tercel 2-door 4-speed that the driver door doesn't work on. And here's the best part. I work at a vendor for a very large retailer. And so there's a lot of really nice cars in the parking lot. And then there's me and like a multicolored Ford Ranger in the parking lot. We always park by each other. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's right. Shit boxes, bro.
Yeah. I was going to say brothers.
So I got the same thing. I gave $2,000 for this Tahoe, and like most of the guys that I work with, their wheels on their trucks cost more than that. And I'm like,
Yep.
Everyone's got new super duties at my job.
Yeah.
I did that yesterday. There's a guy at my work. He's got like 26s on a Silverado. Like I parked next to him yesterday. I'm like, dude, the wheels are more expensive than my car.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this has been a couple years ago, but I usually got something 3/4 ton or something for a tow rig, and it's usually older and it's usually unique but not nice. So I'm sitting there filling up my truck, and it's gas powered. At the time, I had a '96 crew cab dually, and I'm sitting there filling up, and the guy walks over and he goes, "Huh, I bet that thing uses a lot of gas." And I look at him, and I look over, and he's got a new Ford diesel crew cab dually, and I was like, "Probably not as much as what your payment is." And he's like, "Oh."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Destroyer 1320 says disposable daily is the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude,
I was
so
watching on the way home. Oh, sorry.
Nope.
You go ahead.
Go ahead, Nico.
I was gonna say I was watching on the way home, and I heard you got like an 84x4 and some other dually or something like that. Hey, if you need to come off one of those, man, just let me know. I can use another daily too.
Well, Michael's been over shopping. He actually bought a truck from me a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Nice. And then he's got to he's still got to come get his boatmobile.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. And that's the sad part about doing sick week is I'll have to miss 1.0, which was my plan to take the boat car on 1.0.
Nikko, I've actually got another daily. I'll shoot you a private when we get off here.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a cheap daily. I'd sent Michael a message, but it won't work for what he's wanting to do. But if you're just wanting a daily, it's something that's cheap and it'll work.
Yep.
All right. Might see what's going on there.
All right.
It's not as cheap as your Honda, I promise. But
no, it's not that cheap.
Yeah.
It's a good rig.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So the truck I bought, my father-in-law before he passed had an 05, and so it white extended cab Z71. So I bought this white extended cab Z71 from Jonathan. I fixed to put a motor in it, and we'll see what happens with it. It'll be weird driving something that's normal with a normal exhaust and not a broken door handle. And
you don't have to put a normal exhaust on it. Like,
oh no, whatever I daily is bone stock, and I'm not even going to change the oil.
So that's what I used to have friends. Like my dually, it wasn't ever my daily, but I drove it some, and then people would be like, I drive up, like for years I drove a S10, or I drive an old beater half-ton pickup or Suburban or whatever I could find a deal on. I just drive whatever. And people are like, man, if you put some wheels on that and do this and do that. And I'm like, oh no, you don't mess with the cash register. This right here is the cash register.
Yeah.
You don't mess with that.
Yeah.
All this thing is going to do is it's going to get me to and from work. And then it's going to take me to feed the wife. All it's got to do is be nice enough that she'll ride in it. That's it.
Yep. Yeah. Well, the Tercell's not that nice. And what's funny is I was like,
stayed away from that.
Yeah. After race, she wouldn't even drive it. She wouldn't even get in it. After race week, I realized I had put fuel in the Tercel one time because I had been driving the cart so much trying to make sure that it was going to be fine. So I'd put fuel in it one time. 12 gallons is what it took to fill it up. So.
Dude, so you're talking about all the dailies. So I have my HHR, and the reason that I drive about 40 minutes to work every day, so it gets good gas mileage. Well, before that, I bought a 2000 Silverado 5.3 4L60 extended cab truck. So I had an F-150. It got totaled, and me and the dude were looking. I was trying to find me a truck. So we kept bouncing Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, car lots, all the stuff. I was on there one day, and a truck popped up, and it was $1,100. It's a 2000, like I said. And I messaged this lady like real fast, like, hey, where you at? I can come, Saturday, whatever. She kind of, ho-hummed around. And then she texts me, hey, my friend got hit by a train. I can't meet you today.
What?
And I'm like, huh, okay.
That's a good excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
I got to write that down.
I need to use that later.
So then we take off looking again. I looked at a Yukon, and that deal fell through. The guy wouldn't come off the price. Well, we left there, and we're sitting in my driveway, and my phone went off, from Facebook Marketplace and said that they lowered the price. So I immediately call her back. I'm like, hey, I can come right now. Do you have a clear title for it? She goes, yeah, it's perfectly clear. I said, okay, you want $900 for it now? She goes, yeah. I said, okay, market sold. I'll bring you cash. I won't haggle you. I'll be there in an hour. She's like, okay, fine. So the only thing I knew about it was extended cab, 5.3, and it needed a water pump. So I threw one of my, good known junk water pumps in the back of his truck. We hooked the trailer up, and we flew all the way down to Sedalia. It was actually not too far from Goody Steak Burgers.
Yep.
We get down there, and I look at this thing, and it is exactly what I wanted, exactly how she described it. I'm like, okay, cool. Pop the hood. There's a conventional small block Chevy water pump sitting in the engine bay. No wonder you couldn't figure this out.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So I put my water pump on it, gave her the money, put the water pump on it, and she goes, oh, hey, she's like, the battery to it is up by my front door at this apartment. All right, cool. So I walk up, put the battery in, water pump's on, hook it up, started it, drove it through the parking lot and loaded it on the trailer, and got the hell out of there. I'm literally like, we're like some weird like Section 8 apartment complex.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm standing there like trying to put the water pump on. The dude's standing behind me like with his hand on his pocket knife because I thought we were gonna get, rolled by some 12-year-old kid. So I ended up getting the Silverado for $900.
That's crazy cheap.
That's a deal.
Yeah.
Dude, and so I went the next morning. I bought a new water pump and a new battery, and I drove it for like 6 months, and then it shot a cam bearing out of it, and I had to put a motor in it. But
yeah, I'd have started it and it'd have done that. That's my luck. Oh, cool, thanks. Blah, 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 blah,
well, so
blah, blah, blah.
then on top of and I won't forget too, the day the cam bearing went out, we went and looked at another Mustang. A couple days before, a buddy of mine hit me up out of the middle of nowhere. He goes, "Hey man, do you want some of these parts?" And he was listing off like pretty much a whole car. I'm like, well, what's the story? Well, his ex-girlfriend's dad had this 89 notchback Mustang that they've had for a few years, and they didn't do anything with it, and it was all crusty, and they wanted to just scrap it. So I went over there, talked to him, looked at it, and I'm like, actually, this thing's pretty decent. So ended up giving them some money for it, like $400 or $500. And then we drove home to go get the trailer. As soon as we made it to our exit, the oil pressure just goes. And I'm like, I just paid for a car, and then the motor in my truck goes out.
Yep. That's awesome.
So now it's got a aluminum 5.3 and a cam and exhaust and cold air intake on it.
Isn't it weird how that happened?
Yeah. I mean, if you're in there already.
Yeah.
Slippery slope.
Yeah.
Nikko, you're awful quiet.
Yeah, no, I'm just hanging out, waiting my turn. Everything I got's broken besides the Malibu, so I really don't got a whole lot to say, I guess. Yeah.
You guys see what I was talking about earlier? Nikko is the king of destruction.
There's a common trait going on, that's for sure, I guess.
Yep.
And the worst part is, I don't feel like you try to break stuff.
No, all the time,
it just happens.
Dude, Nikko, you got to tell the story of the Honda getting stolen, and
That's my favorite.
You get it back, and then what happened after that, and all that kind of stuff. But while you do that, I've got to go pee. So you talk amongst yourselves.
Hang on. Hang on just a second. Let me see if I can find a charger here. Give me just a second. I don't want to miss the story again, but let me see if I can get a charger. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I'll stay I'll stay while he goes. So, dude, and you've got a Jeep, like a Cherokee.
Yeah. So the Jeep's been sitting since February. I blew the rear end out of that doing Postmates or something like that in February. I got a really nice junkyard rear end, put that in it. 1 week after that, the transmission goes out on it. I put a junkyard tranny in it, and now it just has a random misfire that I can't figure out.
Gotcha.
So I've gone through a bunch of stuff. I put a different PCM in it, and it still has a misfire. So I don't know if something happened at one point in time where it had jump timing. So now I need to check and see if it's jump timing or not. Or just like the engine harness is garbage now. I don't know. Something's up. So I had it since 2009. So I drove from Massachusetts to Colorado, 2,000 miles. So I got a picture somewhere on Facebook with like all my tools and everything that I had, like all strapped to it, like clamp it style, just loaded up. So you couldn't even see out the back of it or anything. So,
dude, that's awesome.
It's sentimental to me, so I can't get rid of it. So it's just been just dying slowly in the corner of the parking lot of my apartment complex right now. So I should probably do something about that. But
yeah. There's some like 12-year-old kid that walks by that thing every day. It's like, man, that's the coolest rig ever,
Yeah. I've seen a couple like my neighbors talking about it when I'm in like the distance and stuff like that. It's hilarious. So some good ones, some bad ones, but yeah.
Yep. All right. So since Jonathan's back, you got to tell the story of the car getting stolen, and while I take care of business.
So my car got stolen. It was on like a Sunday night or something like that, and I'm off on Mondays, so I slept in and everything. And I don't know, came out like probably noonish to go grab something to eat or something like that. And it was just like one of those like, dude, where's my car moments? Just out there. I'm like, I know I parked it over here somewhere and couldn't find it. and finally come to realization, it was stolen, and you get the footage from my apartment complex and everything, and it was definitely stolen, and report it and everything, and it was a few days later, the cops didn't find it. I find it. It was like a mile from my house in the industrial park behind my apartment complex. They cut the cat off of it and just stole some tools. And I had a G-Force T56 crossmember for my car, but it was for my buddy because he loaned me his new one out of one of his little jack stand queens. And so it was brand new. So he gave me that, and I just had to get him another one. It was brand new in the box. Stolen right out of the car too when it was stolen. So they took the cat, some tools.
You probably could look on Facebook Marketplace later that day and found it.
Right. Yeah. No, it never
Like
did.
eBay.
But then actually last week I got a call from Fort Collins Police Department, and that's like 75 miles north of me. And they found my cross member still in the box. They thought it was a trailer hitch. So in a stolen Subaru, 75 miles north of me, like in another stolen car, they found it. So I'm going to get it back, but Fort Collins gave it to Denver detectives, and they got to process it or whatever. And so I don't have to spend another $300 to get me my cross member I owe my buddy. So I'm getting that back at some point in time. So that's nice.
Yeah.
But then, so it was like 3 days time where it was missing. I get it. I drive the car to work the next day, and it stalled on me on lunch or something like that. And I thought nothing of it. And I figured because the cat was hacked off of it, and, it wasn't idling right or something like that. And I go to drive home that night from work, and it throws a rod through the block, like before I even make it to the highway. And I put a junkyard motor in it. And 2 weeks later, I'm taking the drive shaft for the Malibu to the drive shaft shop to get rebuilt. And once I'm putting it together for 1.0, and it threw another rod on the way to the drive shaft shop, dropping off a drive shaft like 2 weeks later after swapping the engine. So it's been sitting since.
So remind me again what the bullet hole story was.
Oh, so the bullet hole story, that happened 4 days after I bought the car. I didn't have plates on it yet because that was all during COVID and everything. So the registry was still crazy wait times. You couldn't just walk in or anything. So I had insurance on it, and all the paperwork and everything. And now the same thing, I was doing deliveries with it. And I had just wrapped it up. It was later at night, and I'm not living in the best of areas. I'm in a shady side of Denver. And there was two gentlemen arguing at the 7-Eleven, and I thought nothing of it. This is the usual over there. So I parked in between them, but I just went in the store thinking nothing of it. And I make like 2 hours into the 7-Eleven, and like 17 shots go off, and they shooting at each other through my Honda. So it took out all the side glass, but they didn't get the front and the back windshield. But the sunroof and all four side glass all blown out of it. Holes in the roof and the C-pillar and stuff like that. So if I was in it, it probably would have got me because there was some like stuck in the passenger front door panel and everything. So luckily I wasn't in it. But they never caught anyone on any of that. I put some junkyard glass in it myself and just kept driving it because I just spent all my money on buying it. So I only had it for 4 days. Didn't have many options. So while I'm putting the glass in it too, I find a slug. I pick a slug out of the inside of the door, changing the windows in it and everything too. So the thing's been nothing but a headache. It's been nothing but bad luck. It's been attempted to be stolen before it was stolen too. So it's just nothing but good, bad things.
I was just thinking this must be one fine looking automobiles. Mean people tried to steal it.
Yeah,
I know, right? Yeah, it's a white 97. I bought it off of two ranchers that they didn't want to take their nice trucks, or one guy, he like a C6 or something like that, and he's like, "Oh, I just drive this to the ranch so I don't get my cars dirty." And I'm like, "All right," and it was nasty on the inside and everything. I bought it with my stimulus check, so yeah, dude, I don't know. I think it's just a throwaway for sure, So
yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, it sounds like you need to throw it away. It sounds like it's cursed.
Yeah. Destroyers just sell that cursed car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I saw Eli Gould pop in here. I've got a video dropping tomorrow night of him and his dad's and his brother's 67 Firebird that sat idle for 28 years, and they pulled out and got running. And his dad, they've done 2 like drag and drive events in it and took it racing. They put it in the 11s the other day on nitro, still Pontiac powered. So that was cool.
Nice.
I love them guys. They're awesome.
Oh man, they're cool people.
Was it 1.0 last year during the heat of COVID and everything else like that, where they're giving us like the little hand sanitizers and everything like that for 1.0 last year and everything? Everyone, no one's doing the handshake or anything like that. I'm talking to them guys and everything. And we're going to part ways and stuff like that. And I wasn't going to shake their old man's hand. And he's like, you better get over here. Shake my hand. You know what I mean? Like pulled me in. It was hilarious.
Yep.
They're just good people, And same thing. His brother welded the rear end in my car 2.0 last year and stuff like that. So, yeah,
dude, that's crazy. You and welders, man.
Yeah, right. I need to figure that out. I need to get on that for sure.
Yeah,
you need like that trunk monkey rig with the little TIG in the back.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I wish Jonathan was still in here. He had to get a charger, but he rode around with Don's trunk monkey for a long time. I think at 1.0 last year, or no, 1.0 this year. That's funny.
That's pretty good.
So you're 9-inch now.
Yeah.
What you said it's a kit, right? Like it was you bought the whole setup from somebody, right?
Yeah. So it was like a drop-in one from Trick Chassis.
Trick Chassis, that's right.
So like the 4-link that is in the car just bolts right onto it and everything. So it's pretty good.
That's awesome. Jonathan's over here making comments in the comment section talking about the trunk monkey that he rode around with.
That's awesome,
dude. That's why I want to do 1.0. 1.0 seems like it's crazy, and that's what I want. I want to enjoy that. I want to do that. And who knows, man? We may end up doing it. Sick week is going to be crazy. And with me flying, it's funny. So for the cheap flights, I'll fly down on Friday, but I won't be able to come back till like 10 days later. So I haven't told the wife that yet. So surprise, honey, if you're watching.
Yeah, she knows now.
Yeah.
She's probably not still watching us. She's like, car stuff. Yeah, I'm over it. She's like, he talks about it too much anyways. So Nikko, small block nitrous, but what kind of shot do you run on the car?
It's 100 shots since like everything that I've ran during the race weeks. Yep. And that last day there, I did install a 150 shot, but where the checkout oil down there on the last hour or whatever, I never had a chance to make a run on it. So I was curious as to what I was gonna run with the 150.
Right.
But I just signed up for a test and tune on Sunday at Vandermeer, so I'm going to go ahead and see what that's going to do. So.
Now, how fast have you been in that car?
So the fastest I went was 2.0 this year, and it was a 12.2 at 111 or something like that. Yeah. And then I also found out once I came back to Colorado, because it wasn't running the greatest, so I actually pulled apart the carburetor and rejetted it. I must have been sleep deprived the last time I was in there. Because I had the 650 is supposed to have like a 74 in the back and a 70 in the front. And it's like one jet size for every 2,000 feet in elevation or something like that. But I ended up putting a 67 in the back and a 68 in the front. So I don't know. Don't ask me how I did that.
Dude,
but that happened. So I ran a 12.2 like that in that configuration. So I'm thinking at Texas was at like 900 feet or less or something like that. So I probably should have had that 74 or 73 or something like that in it. Probably would have dipped into the 11s, I bet. Because I felt like it just kind of laid over once I got into third too. Like it was definitely starving, but it wasn't popping. It wasn't to the point of like it being that lean, So
it just
I bet for sure. Yeah.
So are you on like a progressive setup or are you on a button?
No, watt switch on the carburetor. That's it. Yep.
That's cool. So why don't
all go, no go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Once I'm off the clutch, I try not to be on it while I'm like letting out. But as soon as I see like over 3,000, I'm in there. So that's crazy. Basically instantaneous though. So yeah.
So we had Bill Armstrong on a couple weeks ago, and are you hydraulic clutch or you?
Yeah, hydraulic. Yeah. I watched that actually the other day as well. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say that may be something that'd be kind of cool too to see like what a car like yours would do with that setup. Of course it's $900, which is a swing, but you think like you could go 12.2. I mean, could you gain 3/10 like he did, and 11.9 and then throw the 150 in and go 11.7s?
Yeah, you never know, right? But the same thing like you were saying though, that controller is the same price as like a good third member or something like that. And that's one clutch drop away, you know, potentially. So it's worth its weight in gold for sure. So, I mean, it makes really good sense. It's something that I definitely want to look into. The only thing is, like, those guys run an LS-based T56, and they got the hydraulic throw-up bearing, but mine actually has the actuator that bolts on the bell housing with the fork still on the LT1 style, because it's a pull type, not a push type like an LS. So it's a little different, but just the way how it all pins in there to the actuator and everything, I think I had to get tricky with some fittings to get it all in there. Yeah. But I'm thinking it's doable.
That's cool, man.
So what 6-speed do you have then?
LT1 T56 out of like a 96 SS. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you're LT base. Okay.
Yeah. Because it's the same bell housing as I have a Gen 1 small block with the conversion flywheel.
Now, what's the motor setup in that car though? Because I love your car, dude. It impresses me every time.
Yeah.
It's a 010 block, 2-bolt main, stock crank, but it's got scat rods in it, forged rods, Wiseco flat top, there's like Pro True Street or pistons or something like that. 2-valve relief flat tops. And then instead of World Performance heads, they're SR heads. So they're cast iron. They're small valve. They're still 195, 150, 67cc chambers. It's like 190 something intake runner or something like that, like 197 or something. So it's about the specs I know on that.
And then he has the 8-track player on top of it.
Yeah, 8-track. Yeah, 650 CFM 8-track player on top. Yeah, with the dual plane. Was a Speedmaster air gap on it.
Dude, so hang on, you're still running a dual. I mean, you know, it's funny. Like I looked at it and I think, man, what could you gain with a single plane intake? You know, what could you gain with aluminum heads, things like that? But like, I mean, that car runs low 12s consistently. Like that's pretty fast. You know what I mean? Like, like you can.
I've had some bigger guys come up to me and like they're like, "Wow, that's actually getting it for what it is." So I like that. So that's cool.
I love your car, dude. That thing is so much, dude. I bet that thing is a blast to make a pass.
It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So in anytime any stick car, it's always interesting to me, like drive shaft. Like, do you have a custom drive shaft? Do you have some wild drive shaft, you know, like, or is it just that was in the Malibu and now it's in this car? And you know what I mean? Like
yeah, so I started off with what I bought it with, and I brought it to a drive shaft specialist like shop or whatever, and they kept the same tube. I don't think it's aluminum. I think it's still steel. I got a 1310 joints in it. I went from like a 2 7/8 shaft to like a 3-inch diameter because of COVID. They didn't have the 2 7/8 parts, so they bumped me up to a 3-inch. So I got a little bit of beef out of that, but it's got a drive shaft loop in it from Trick Chassis, the same people I got the rear end from. And it's also the same people that I got the frame braces from after I tore the torque box out of it. So hit up Trick Chassis for your G-Body parts because they're really good to deal with and they got good stuff.
Right. And y'all sponsor his ass. Damn.
Yeah, right.
Dude, honestly, if you haven't broke their stuff yet, well worth the money right there.
You
should be their sponsor, you know.
Right.
That's right. That's right. He's a good spokesperson for sure.
Oh, dude, and I got to give you a hard time on all the stuff you break, dude. But you're the king of destruction. I mean, like if you're gonna find a weak point in somebody's, you know, part, that speaks a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. If Nikko can't break it, ain't nobody breaking it.
Yeah. That's
all
what
I can do is try, right?
Violence is the nitrous stick car for sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So let's talk future plans. Cars that you're race weeking. I mean, you guys upgrading over the winter? What do you got planned?
Want me to go first? I'll go first, I guess. So my co-pilot's parents have been following us since 2.0 last year. They did 2.0 last year and 1.0 and 2.0 this year. And it was awesome. I love them. They're great. I mean, I appreciate everything they did for us. But I think we might have stretched them out a little much on 2.0 this year. And I get that because it was expensive for me. So I bet it was expensive for them as well. And they're not really racers to begin with. So I'm looking at some type of means to have my own living situation during race week, I guess, and not do the hotel deal, because we did that 1.0 last year, and like I think Jason was talking about it, and a few other people I've heard them talking about it, where like you're paying for a shower and like 4 to 5 hours of sleep at best.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's 150 minimum usually. So like,
Yep.
I feel like that money for that week could be better allocated. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think I might do like some form of pop-up camper behind the Malibu next year or something like that. Is what I'm thinking.
dude, that'd be
and like
awesome.
trick it out and everything. So
Yeah,
Need to find you one of them motorcycle pop-ups.
right.
Oh yeah,
I was looking at old school
Small
ones
box
that they're like a sliding one where like there's no canvas, like a hard side one where like it looks like a hot dog cart when it's all collapsed and then it pops up. I was thinking about something like that. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I mean, it's got a 9-inch in it, 6-speed, 411. So I mean, it'll tow like a truck. It's full frame and everything.
Yep.
Disc brakes on all 4 on the car. And I'm a trailer guy because I do the boats for a living and everything. So like doing brakes on the trailer or any of the stuff it needs to beef it up to make it, you know, better to haul, I can do.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
So,
that would
I
be
think that's
super
a
cool.
big plan.
Yeah, we had talked about but just in our group chat too, had talked about something small for to pull behind the old truck. I think that'd be neat. Just some small pop up, or like I really want like a vintage retro, 15-foot camper or whatever they would be, 18 foot or whatever they are. Just something small, lightweight, cruise around. So I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Let as many people you just open it up. It's like air mattresses inside. That's all it is.
Yeah.
$10 a night and get a water heater, and like you just
showers. That's a big thing.
Showers are outside.
Yeah.
It's got a big 54-gallon drum on top of it, just spraying down.
Yep, right. Martin Ranger says he's seen a silver Camaro with a small pop up on 2.0.
Yeah,
I think it was a 410 Trans Am, I think.
Oh,
yeah, they were
cool.
pitted next to us at MAD, and spent a bunch of time talking to them. And I feel really bad, man. He was super cool. I wish I remembered his name, but they had the setup. It was like a 4x6 pop up. I want to say they had room for days in there.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. I need to buy. I'm not going to race, I think, anymore. So I think I'll tow the sleeping quarters.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
and behind the truck too, that'd be like, retro on retro, just fit the bill. You know what I mean? That'd be a sweet road week rig. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. Anyways, I have tempted to just put a stock 5.3 and 4L60 in it just to cruise it around. Because the turbo stuff could be used so much better in a car with way better suspension.
For sure.
Than a 60-year-old, leaf spring truck that's like you jack it up. If you put jack stands in the middle, it kind of does the back settles down. Like, ooh, probably not great to throw a ton of power at, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So we got some new leaf springs for it. I'm excited. The leaf springs in it now are like de-arched in the middle. So we're going to throw some new used ones on and see if maybe we can get a little bit of lift out of it and put some power to it. And it won't wheel hop this time, maybe.
Some Calverts or something like that too, maybe.
Yeah. So I built a traction bar, like a torque arm setup for it.
Okay.
So I've got to finish it. I've got to finish the dog bone for the front. So it'll have some movement, and but I've got to be at the right height to be able to do that. So I'm going to rebuild the trans cross member and mount my dog bone upper on the trans cross member, so it's super long, like a third or fourth gen Camaro was.
Oh yeah.
So it'll have something kind of.
I've changed many a $700 fours in my high school career as well. For sure.
Nice. Yep. So yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The torque arm will be a ton of fun. I think it'll eliminate some wheel hop and let me put some power down, hopefully. Anyways.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, I got to plug my laptop in real quick. Hang on, I'll be back.
All right. Dude,
I did that before I did that. Yeah, I got ready.
Yeah, everybody's going down, man. They can't handle it. That's too funny. Yeah, I've got I'm actually
Is
sitting
John
here.
still with us? You still in the comments, buddy?
Yeah, he's like, I gotta plug in. I'll be back. He's actually in there eating dinner with his wife. He's making fun of us. He's watching it in the living room with Connor. He's just on the couch chilling, gonna chime in on the comments. Dude, that's crazy. So being in Denver, like, there's a ton of Rocky Mountain Race Week guys close. You know what I mean? Like, do you guys hang out?
A whole bunch of them. Yeah.
Do you talk to people? Like, do you just work too much? How's that work?
I definitely work too much. I talk to a few of them for sure. Jeremy Trow is a really good buddy of mine. We're on Messenger like almost on a daily, or every other day. And Jared Gwynn too. He's like my pit buddy, but he's like an hour north of me. But
Nice.
anytime I have a chance to get up there, I'm always hanging out with them guys and everything.
Cool.
At least as much as I can, for sure.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast time goes.
Yeah, but there's a lot of us out here in Colorado, though, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
a whole bunch. It's hard to list them all off, but there's definitely a whole bunch.
It's like 30 or 40% of 1.0 for sure. You guys need to do like a race week monthly meetup. Oh, John's back. He heard us talking. He's on his phone now.
Yeah.
God dang it.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, you haven't missed a whole bunch. We just talked about everything under the sun, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I was actually listening in, but this new laptop I bought, I've already misplaced the charger. And so today, to prepare for this, I charged my old laptop that won't work with the link. So
that's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. We were talking about how many 1.0 folks are that live around Nikko there, and how they need to have like a monthly meetup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So I was listening in, and I'm totally in on the idea of the pop-up camper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is actually something that that's actually something that me and Boo and Jason Cunningham had talked about briefly too.
Yeah. Jason's truck would be cool to tow with too.
Well, that's what our plan is because his truck can. I mean, we pulled an enclosed trailer with Boo's car in it before to the track. So, and then his truck runs 950s.
Dude, that truck is insanity. Yeah. Like, it's awesome.
Yep.
That's what I want out of the old truck. I say 2 minutes ago, I said I'm gonna put a stock 5.3 and 60 in it. Now I'm like, I need 1,100 horsepower, or 800, whatever that truck makes. Probably makes 800, doesn't it?
He makes with the tune-up that he had in it for running 950. I think it makes just north of 900 at the wheel.
Dang, that's awesome. And he flogs on that thing and drives it everywhere, all over the place.
Just when he drives it.
Yeah. Yeah. He only beats on it when he drives it.
I'm trying to find a. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find a way this stupid phone is. Okay. I got it now. I'm comfortable.
Connor, get in there and hold that phone for your dad.
Hey, Dad, hold it.
That's awesome.
So I had to get my my charger. After we had the injector problem on 2.0, I got them cleaned and I started going through the tune again. I've been tuning a buddy's car and I forgot that I didn't charge it before this.
Yeah.
So it was a little low. I had to run and get the charger.
I charged the wrong one.
That happens too, though, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's talk software. Let's talk Red Hat, because I like Turbo LS stuff. What system do you run to control your Turbo LS?
I've got the Terminator X.
Dude, what are you doing?
Some calisthenics over there, some jumping jacks or something.
What? I gotta get it on something.
What TikTok video are you doing?
Yeah, that's right.
It's just my own.
Oh, that's funny.
So no, currently I've got the Terminator X, but my car, when I originally put it together, I had a Holly HP on it.
Yeah,
and we ran that for a while, and I loved it. It was good. And once again, like we talk, things are good for one car, but they're better on the other one. I I think Stoney knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I pulled the HP out of my car to put on my 91 GT. Well, then I went to a micro squirt. It was a good system. It worked. We went, I think when it was in that car, we went like 1050s, 1060s. And then I kind of felt like I couldn't really push it any farther. I didn't have a lot of support. If I had a problem with it and I called somebody, they couldn't really give me an answer. So then I bought the Terminator X from another friend of mine, and it's been flawless. Like, that system has been great. Right. Other than the transducers, we lost that transducer last year at 2.0 after the motor swap, and it wreaked havoc like crazy. And took me like 6 months to figure out what actually happened. Actually, it took me about minutes, but I didn't touch the car for 6 months.
Yeah, well, that's what happens.
But
damn you, car.
Once I figured that out, the Terminator X, man, has been so amazing. It's super easy to work. Historically, I've always had somebody else tune my stuff, and nothing against those guys. I've had a couple friends of mine that I've known for years help me with the tune, and it's always worked. It's been really good. But then it always got to, if I'm on the road and something happens, or if I want to put some more into it, or I want to do this, like, I didn't really know what to do. So the last year, I've spent a lot of time researching, reading, trying, playing with settings. And so actually I can say, the 2.0 that we just did, that was 100% my own tune.
Wow, that's cool, man.
So I was pretty proud of myself just being able to do it. I went from running consistent, 1060s, 1070s to running that 1019 with my own, my own tune.
That's, dude, and I think that's what's cool about the Terminator X stuff, especially like as more of that becomes available, more tunes are on the, out there in the world, more people, you have at least something easy to start with,
Yeah. So that was the cool thing about Terminator X is when I first put it together, I did the little wizard tune and got it running. Then I hooked up the laptop to it, and then I could really get into it, do a lot more stuff. And then I also realized on 2.0 this year, the very first day, oh, I know all about the up arrow, Zach. So we found out the first day when I rescaled the map for the intake air temp sensor, I had all the numbers, drag and drop, everything was good, but the scale was wrong. So the temperature was reading way sooner than it should have for pulling timing. And that's why I went like, what do we run that, dude? The
1118.
1118. I did 2 identical 1118 passes. If we were bracket racing, oh boy, I'd have won the whole thing.
Right.
But that's so we got back to the pits and I looked at it and I'm like, oh, okay. All right. We'll just bring down arrow. Then we got it back.
Where did you go?
That's awesome. He's switching spots.
He's like, hang on. I can do this. That's crazy. And it's funny. We've never done any tuning. I haven't tried to learn any of that just because I'm like, I got to keep this shitbox running long enough to like get through this. And then I can figure out how to do that, So, and we're factory ECU on that truck. So, we'd have to HP tuners and work around big injectors and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely don't want to start on that. So we had discussed the Terminator X Max on the old truck, but
I'll just go ahead and tell you, I've had several people talk to me about the stuff. I've just told them if it doesn't have a Holley on it, I'm not going to work on it.
Yeah. That's where I was at when I had the micro squirt on my car.
Yeah.
Which I can't really talk a lot of trash on the micro squirt. I know, there's a few of our buddies on, Race Week that have them. Luke Brunkno, he's actually really good with his.
Yeah.
And I'd hit him up on some of the issues I had or, whoever. But it really came to that, Stoney.
Yeah.
That was the thing, man. If you ain't got a Holly, they don't want to mess with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And my thing about it is it's not that I don't feel like I could learn other stuff. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
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 Why would you need to know 4 different units
Right.
of, know?
Yep. And that's the thing. So like we run into the situation last Saturday. I was going to take the truck, if it had been Holly, somebody could have fixed my speed limiter issue, but I didn't even make passes because I was like, I'm not going to, right. Yeah. I'm not going to mess with it because we couldn't get into the system, so that's the way it works. And then let's talk FI tech a little bit here. Have you guys ever messed with any of that stuff?
Yes.
Yep. We've installed, I think, 2 kits here, and it's been fun.
He says no.
It's been fine. And then Nikko, what are you MSD box and carburetor?
His is
distributor car. So yeah, I don't even have an MSD box. So yeah.
Oh, dang.
That's
Probably
someone-
good, man. MSD went downhill.
Yeah.
That's the only box I know of for carbureted cars.
Well, yeah. There's several different ones, but I thought you meant like thinking his was LS because like I got a 6010.
Oh no, we did that. We did that the first one.
On the first podcast,
Yeah. I've got a 6010 in the Nova right now, and I've actually not had any issues with it.
That's cool.
But when I was running the old school motor stuff, I had it was the digital 7. I can't remember which box it was now, but it actually quit me just driving down the road because the box had heat protection in it. So driving down the road, the thing hit the heat protection and it just shut off. And luckily I was carrying a 6AL box, and I just put the 6AL box in the car and finished the week with it. And then when I got back home, I sent the digital 7 box off and had it checked, and it was good. So I sold it because you can't do something like that on race week.
No.
No.
No, you don't need your ignition box going out on race week.
Right.
And that's like on those NASCARs and stuff like that. I was just watching on some video too. They got 2 of them side by side.
Yes.
And they just unplug and replug right there. So
Yep.
yeah.
At 187 miles an hour, they're like, boom,
Yeah, right.
plug that one in.
Yeah.
So I had just bought what I was going to have on 2.0 with the big block. MSD just come out with a coil on plug with a dual sync distributor for conventional old school big block and small block, and that's actually what the Nova had on it until I had to put the LS back in it.
So on that setup, is the distributor setup just to trigger?
Yeah, it doesn't even have. It's got a distributor that goes in it that's got what they call a dual sync pickup. It sends a signal. It's got 2 triggers in there, like the old Halifax switches, and what it does is it does the cam and crank signal and sends to the ECM. Then like it doesn't have a rotor or a distributor cap or anything. It's got a cover you pull off of it, and it's got LEDs in it. You sync it, and then put the cover back on it, and then you do everything else like you do like a 6010, 6012, or 6014 boxes.
That's cool.
So now, so Stoney, so how come you went from like a conventional motor to an LS?
So the thing come about when I was racing stock block, the LS motor had a little bit of a weight break compared to like a conventional big block and the small block deal. So me and Jason owned a Trans Am, and he actually had bought a motor. So we put that motor in the Trans Am and raced it in stock block. And then we got to the end of what we were doing, and we just had the motor sitting there. So I bought it from him and put it in a Nova. So it's actually the motor in my car is actually our stock block motor that we ran. It's like I think 0.7 of a second quicker in the Nova than it was in the Trans Am, but it's the exact same motor. The only thing I did, we took I had the stock LS3 intake off of it and put a Super Victor with a carburetor on it.
Yep. Yeah, it's a cool setup, dude. And I mean, let's just like the reason a lot of folks go LS is just head airflow. Head flow.
That's so like the LS3 heads. There's, other than buying 18-degree heads or something really trick, you can't really get you can't really get a conventional small block head that flows the same as LS3 heads.
Yep.
Is that
Nico's
Nico?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, listen, tone it down over there.
Oh, that's funny. You guys talking about the LS head airflow.
Yes.
Yep.
The only reason I run an LS versus a Ford motor, I go to the junkyard and get them for $200.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. That's
What's? Go ahead, Michael.
I was just say that's the reason. I have an LS in the old truck. I mean, I would have probably never built a small block for it, but I'm a turbo guy anyways. Always loved turbo. So like, if you're looking at turbo stuff, turbo LS 8 years ago was like holy grail. Oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever. And then everybody realized you can put a turbo on anything and it works. But that's why I bought a 05 Tahoe. So it has Gen 4 rods and pistons that had been flipped for $700 and sold $1,200 worth of parts off of it. You know what I mean? Like I had nothing in it.
And then after messing with the LS stuff, I just don't like a distributor anymore. That's why I bought the stuff for,
Yeah.
There's certain things that you learn that like, I don't want the whirly thing in there anymore.
Yeah, we're slowly bringing Nico on. Nico, this is an intervention, friend.
I know, right? Yeah.
He's like,
Jared Gwynn is like every day in the pits. He's like, when we put a 5.3 in that thing, man? When's that happening? When are we gonna do that?
Yeah. A 150 on a 5.3 is nothing. That just cleans the plugs, right?
So
I know, right? Yeah.
So just when we race the stock block, I have a friend. He actually did 2.0 in small block NA with the white Mustang. Tony Stafford and Judy Stafford.
Yeah.
They actually raced stock block with me, and they had a 5.3 in a G-body Malibu that run 1070s NA. So, and it had stock crank rods, pistons, and stuff. It just had a camshaft and a valve job and stuff.
Yeah. So 815 they've got several LS swaps in their arsenal of cars, fleet there. They've got one Fox body with twin GT45s and ones with and a BMW with twin GT35s. So crazy.
I saw your video on Corey Noble's Malibu, same thing. It's 5.3 with some flip manifolds and a little baby with a 67 turbo or something like that on it. It does nines. So
yeah, dude.
That's pretty cool.
What was so cool, he averaged a 10-second pass every day at race week, and that car was built in his garage. He touched every piece of that car.
Nico,
I was talking to him at Buc-ee's too, so I was eyeballing his S&W 10 point because that's probably in my near future as well too. Yeah.
Yep.
I was Nico, the thing about that, you've already got an existing setup. You could turbo what you have, and the small block, there's nothing wrong with it. The turbo doesn't know what it's on. It's just that if you don't already have a combo, the LS is just a cheap starter combo. But like you can look at Randy Kane's truck, the Creep. It's a conventional small block with a turbo, and I mean it's as fast as anything out there.
Oh yeah, that truck runs 840s or 8.
Yeah, it's been bottom 8s. So
yeah. One of my favorite YouTube channels is Street Race channel with that little S10 pickup. Oh yeah, that's a small block that he's getting it done, So I like that thing a lot. So the only thing that I'm scared of is it's a 2-bolt main is the only thing.
Right.
So
right.
It's like, when is that going to pack his bags and head south on me? Is the only thing. I don't know the real number.
It's lived on 100.
All right, I'm gonna head up.
It's packed up. I mean, dude, it's lived on 100 shot on a wide open throttle switch. I mean, like, to be honest,
hundreds of passes now.
Yeah, I mean, So what's that? What do you think that motor makes in a? I mean, 350 probably.
Yeah, probably. That'd be an easy bet. Yeah. I'd say that.
So you think, with the 150 shot, that thing makes 520. I mean, that's the only, to me, I love turbo sounds and noises and things like that. And I like that I don't have to fill a bottle, That's probably the other biggest thing.
Yeah. I know Adam was always talking about a blower and stuff like that too, because it's like nitrous, but you never have to fill the bottle. It's just always there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Zach said there. Yeah. And Tick Performance's car, I don't know if you guys have watched it.
It's an LT1 car still, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that car's fast, like 7-second fast.
Sevens, yeah.
Yeah, he's
on a LT1 small block. You know what I mean? Like that car
And-
just works.
and H pattern, or not H pattern, but conventional stick shift, not a inline or whatever.
T56 car.
Yes.
Yeah, but is he still on the OptiSpark though?
Oh, I doubt
it.
Yeah,
It's probably-
well, now here's what you got to know, my friend. That was a special thing they did from GM. His uncle ordered that car. It has a special ignition system in it.
I know that guy.
Yeah, all they did was put a turbo on that car. Goes sevens. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Ugh. How great was OptiSpark?
Oh yeah.
No. Yeah.
Stuff like that is why I have a T56 in my car, because that's probably what parked that Camaro.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh no, the motor's fine. It's just OptiSpark quit.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, how many times have we heard that?
Yeah.
So interesting thing here. Michael, the green Camaro that I had, the green 94, it had a 383 LT1 in it, and I actually still have it for some future project. And they make
Put it in
make.
Connor's car.
Well, that's probably what's going to happen. But they make what they call a torque heads conversion. And what it does, it has a crank and cam sensor that mount on the front of it on the timing chain cover. And then you use a LS ECM and cool on plug on the LT1 and do away with the OptiSpark.
Man, that's
So I've already got the torque head for it. And basically what I got to get is the if I decide to do that, the Terminator X that's going in my Nova, I'd originally bought to use for that combo, and then it was going to be used on the 408, and then now it's going to be used on the.
Yeah. We were talking about this earlier. The gathering of parts for too many projects.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
The good thing about it is, though, is a lot of times when we're looking around and we get in a hurry to throw something together,
Yep.
I've got some stuff sitting around that's actually pretty good stuff that we've got setting there. Like over the weekend when we took the S10, Jimmy Baker bought the S10, took it to my shop. I put it on the lift, did a nut and bolt check to make sure that the thing was safe, made sure the brakes were good, checked the motor out, checked transmission out, and just basically looked the thing over, made sure it had brakes. And then the tires were shot. So it just so happens it was the same bolt pattern and same backspace stuff as the Nova. So I pulled the wheels off the tires and wheels off the Nova and stuck on it and went racing.
Yeah.
And had that not been the case, we'd have been waiting another week. He ordered tires and I got tires today.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. It's I say this a lot, but if you kind of like Red Hat's a good example of this, like if you build LS stuff, you're going to have LS parts.
Oh yeah.
You torch a head, you can go to the bin and grab a head and throw on there,
Yeah, actually, so that's what I was bouncing around a minute ago. The dude brought up a good point. I've been collecting parts off and on for a couple years. So I literally have, right across from me, I've got a little side room in my basement we call Walmart. And it's literally full of excess parts.
Yep.
Whatever you need. I've got friends call me all the time. Hey man, do you have this? Do you have that? Whatever.
Yep.
I can build, 2 more cars with all the random parts I have sitting.
Yep.
I've got
like here in the shop, I've got like 3 bracket sets. I've got a ton of manifold, like exhaust manifold, tons of intake manifolds. You know what I mean? Like you just end up with all that crap that you're swapping. You might, and so like if you're always changing powertrains, it's hard to.
And those are rookie numbers, Narks.
Yeah.
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 We've literally. So we were talking about projects earlier when we first kicked off. I've got another car. It's sitting in my buddy's shop right now because I'm out of space. Small block Ford turbo car that's literally built with everything Ford that I'm getting rid of because I went LS.
Yep. That's exactly right. Sorry, Zach said Matt Farrow has a turbo LT1 stick Trans Am on 1.0, has a Terminator X on it. He didn't use the torque head. He found a very cheap option to do it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I think
like
that's
Eli
probably
Gould's Biscayne's got an LT1 on it too, and same thing. They have a carb intake you can put on and drop a distributor right in it too, and a flow right pump or whatever. You can block off all the extra hoses you don't need or whatever. And that big old Biscayne's in the 11s with that setup, and that's T56 too. So what's good about that is it's roller, so you get better cam options. Yeah, it's like 10 1/4 to 1 from factory. So I mean,
this is better from the get. On 2.0 this year, there was a bunch of guys. I want to say they're from St. Louis. They had a bunch of LT cars. There was a Mustang.
No, I didn't catch that.
Do what, Nico?
I didn't catch that. No.
Oh man, they had a LT1 Mustang, a Nova, and I mean I talked to them for a while. They had like an S10, but those dudes are like getting down on some LT1s.
That's cool.
Now, is this the old school LT1 or new school stuff?
Old school.
Okay, I was gonna say because the new motor, like what Doug Cook's car has in it, it's called an LT1 also. So
yeah,
and that's GI and everything too,
these
right?
are old LT1s.
Okay,
and they were throwing down, man.
You know that was actually, I mean, that stuff was actually pretty reliable. Other than Opti's Park.
Yeah, other than that little part there.
Do you think Opti stands for optional?
Yes.
Yeah, it just decides when it wants to work. Zach saying that's a crappy $200 junkyard Ironhead LT1, not even valve springs. Dude, that's crazy. It's been 12 to.
Hey, Zach.
You made an Iron LT1?
Yeah, they had iron heads you could get. The early ones had them. And then also, you got to be careful because there was also a 4.3 liter V8 that was in Caprices. And it looks just like an LT1, but it is not.
Yeah.
No.
Dude, a 4.3 V8? I mean, good Lord, the pistons are like the size of my thumb.
262 cubic inches. But GM did that several times throughout the years. There's a 262, 268, and there's several different little small motors.
I mean, let's get into your brain here a little bit. Why would they have done that?
I would be thinking on what they used them in is probably for fuel economy, but most of them, there you go, money. But most of them didn't get any better mileage than anything else.
Well, I mean, like you say money though, but dude, like how many, like that motor didn't come in but 2 cars, you know, like.
It's probably like a fleet deal, I bet, too. Like, how many times have you thrown a rod in a 350 but not a 305, and you can just wring the guts out of a 305 and it just stays together? Yeah. So it's probably the same deal with that. Yeah, it didn't have enough guts to kill itself. Is the deal?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that because I was like, you know, the hard part when you look at like a mass-produced 4.3 liter V8. I mean, what's that thing going to be in? Like, it's probably not going in Cadillacs. So it's like, it's not going in trucks. So it's going in Caprice, you know, like that G body, X body stuff, I would think, which I said you put that in 2 cars, but that's probably 10 million cars a year.
Taxis, livery cars, cop cars, all that stuff.
City official deals. Yeah.
Now,
where's Stoney going again? He's on the move again.
Well, I'm here in the living room. The girls are in here working on Halloween decorations.
Yes.
But I had to get my phone charger because I wasn't planning on using my phone, so it wasn't charged either.
Wiping everything out.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Speaking of which, Halloween. Oh no, it's on that side. Y'all see my Freddy?
Yeah, you're a fan. I can tell.
Dude, I'm a huge horror movie fan.
I'm going to show you here real quick. My wife actually has a wall. She's into pinups. So she has a pinup wall.
Nice.
That's all pinups. And we've went around. We go to flea markets and stuff, and she finds these pinups. And then she finds, you can see each one of them's in a unique frame. Yeah. And then she finds a frame and then frames them.
That's too cool.
Yep.
That is cool.
Dude, I'm super into that stuff too.
So you guys are going to be looking at the ceiling because I'm going to have to lay this on the lay down charger. And I'm not going to stand over it, but I'm going to stay with you.
Hey, if anybody's watching this to see our faces, they're in trouble.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey, for the folks that are on here, is anybody turning wrenches in the shop at all tonight? That's what we definitely want to know. Jonathan laid his phone down and 3 people immediately left.
Oh.
They were here for you, bud. They were here for you. For that sweet face.
It must have been Zach because he's the only one that really just loves me.
Hell, I thought he was on here for me.
My car.
Yeah. That's awesome.
All right, so actually, I want to touch on this because I'm a huge music guy. So, who has a radio in their car?
Oh, I have a radio in the Tercel. I don't have a radio in the old truck.
So
I like music. I had a nice radio in my Jeep with like a flush mounted Kicker L7 or L5. I was just a little guy and all that stuff. And I had a radio in the Malibu, but I took it out over the winter to put in the Jeep, which promptly died afterwards, and never put it back in the Malibu. I have speakers in the Malibu, but no radio right now.
Nice.
So as you guys know, the Nova is radio delete.
Yeah,
because it's not like you could. It's not like you could
hear it anyways. Yeah, dude.
The good thing about it is when I'm driving down the road, the music's in my head because like with Scotty, I'm a big music guy of all sorts.
That's wild. Yeah, you can't hear anything in that car. It's probably like Nikko's, I would think. As loud as Nikko's car is, it would be like that.
I actually think Nikko's is actually louder on the outside than mine. For real. I just don't know about the inside.
That's crazy.
The 4-speed is pretty bad, but with the 6-speed, it's really not that bad anymore. I can do like 75 at like 2,000, 2,500 RPM. So if I put exhaust behind the doors, it'd probably be really nice. So,
that's awesome. Zach said he's still. Hang on, real quick. Zach said he's in here, and then Half-Fest said he's got one in all of his cars. Radio.
Half-Fest Garage said that he made a Freddy glove.
Oh yeah,
that is awesome.
That's serious. I have it's sitting up there. I'd have to drag it down, but I have like a $1,000 Freddy costume.
Dude, you're crazy. Eli Gould said he loves you, Stoney.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that. That's awesome. I love you, Eli.
Yeah, he's a good dude. And then 815 says no radio in the Foxfire. You probably couldn't hear it anyways. And then radio in the 240 and the Silverado for sure.
But touching back on that, gentleman. So if you got the radio in the car, like, what's that song you got to play when you're rolling through there? You know, me personally, if I'm getting ready to make a pass, I gotta have something on. Pantera, 100%. Gotta throw some Cowboys from Hell on there.
Sorry, for me it's Rob Zombie, Thunderkiss 65.
Very nice.
Ooh,
that's awesome.
That is pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if I listened to any one song to get ready.
Oh man, I'll throw Pantera on, either Pantera or Slayer, and then I'm in the mood. I'm ready.
You're ready to go fast.
Yep.
That's cool. Right. Zach says he throws in Superstar by Saliva.
That's another good one. I'm a product of the 90s. I can agree with that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, so speaking of that too, so when we were on 2.0, just recently, I hit up Chad Reynolds and said, "Hey man, where's our stop at? I don't care about the rest of the route, but I need to know how close we're going to be in Arlington." And he sent me a message. He's like, "Oh, the stop's at Summit." Okay.
Yeah.
Vinnie Paul and Dimebag Darrell are buried like 10 minutes from the Summit in Arlington, Texas. So we rolled out there, and I've got pictures of me in a Pantera shirt that I didn't plan to wear, but just happened to have on when we went there.
I seen your post. I was like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that too. That's pretty cool. I would have went if I knew that.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, dude. So this has been it's probably right after Dime passed away. Me and the dude were rolling to Houston for the NMRA race. And I told him on the way down, I'm like, "Hey, man, I really want to cut off and go over here." And he's like, man, I don't know. We're kind of, running this route, whatever. So we're rolling through Arlington, and he smacks me. He's like, "Hey, where's that Diamond guy buried at?"
Diamond
and I'm
guy,
like,
what?
I'm like, "Hey, man, it's like Moore Memorial Cemetery in Arlington." Dude, he cuts 4 lanes of traffic. We're in his focus and just darts off. And we go, and it was super cool. You know, that was before they had the gate and everything up front. And there's a picture of me. It's super old, a lot less gray hair, standing there, you know, and it was awesome. So being able to go back and see that now, you know, that Vinny passed was super cool for me.
That's pretty neat. So, you know, thinking about that, I wish there had been, I wish there was like maybe a group of people.
A book hanging.
Yeah, maybe a group of people that would get early access to the travel, you know, so you could kind of like alert maybe folks of like stuff that's coming up, you know, hey, while you're traveling, you could do this.
Well, so when we found out the tracks, you know, way before the route was even picked, before, you know, Chad did the whole deal, I was looking from Ennis, Texas to Arlington to where they were buried. And I told dude, I'm like, hey, I don't care, man. We're going to lose, you know, an hour's sleep. We're backtracking just so I can go here.
Yep. Yeah.
So it was awesome that it was close enough to do it.
And I think for next year's 2.0, I'm going to do a lot more of that. I'm going to do a lot more of, you know, see some of the extra stuff that, you know, like, cause for the first year, it was like, okay, we got to get to the track, like sole focus, get to the track, get changed, you know, then this last year we did kind of meander around a little bit, but not much. Next year, I'm just going to make it like a vacation week and cruise around and spend time at each checkpoint and things like that.
You know, and honestly, you know, Narcs, that's what I try to tell everybody that wants to do one of these things is the racing's the bonus.
Yeah.
You know, everything that happens on the side of the road, the restaurants, the checkpoints, the things that you can beeline and go do, you know, that's what this event, you know, any drag and drive, doesn't matter, you know, drag week, Rocky Mountain, the Summit drag, you know, Sick Week, you know, all those things. There's enough stuff that you can just beeline off of real quick and go check out that you usually get a chance to. I mean, when's the next time I'm going to go to Texas?
Dude, that's what I was saying, you know, and if we go down there, a lot of times it's like to go see family, and it's like, how fast can I drive there? How much time can I spend with them, and how fast can I drive home? You know, there's no time ever where I'm driving from Dallas to Tulsa at 55 because overdrive is out. You know what I mean?
I really think that's what some of Tom Bailey's focus is with Sick Week. Yeah. Because I think he plans to make a whole lot more of it. His goal, he said in his stuff, is to have a time for people to hang out and have a beer and pizza together and see some sights and stuff. And
or a Pepsi.
Or Pepsi. Yeah, or Pepsi.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes a different mindset. I've always been kind of a serious racer. So for me, I just want to get to the track and do the race part. So I've usually skipped out on that other stuff, but I've also made notes too that, you know, on 1.0 last year, we went through the Garden of the Gods, and I've got down. That's one of the places that I want to just go back to Colorado and see, even without even not doing it on race week. Cause we didn't really have time. We stopped, cooled the car off, had a couple waters and rolled, but we were still, you know, you're talking 20 minutes. We weren't there. I would like to go spend that place there. I think you could spend half a day there or a whole day.
Yeah.
You know,
I just got a message from Carl Bowser with Klaus, the Barbarian, the twin turbo LS kart. He said he's ready to be on the show sometime too. So we'll have him on in the future. That car was gnarly. They're rebuilding a 2.0 because some lady pulled out in front of him and then rocket shipped over the thing. It was pretty crazy. If you're not following Klaus the Barbarian or Hidden Motorsports, you need to do that. Let's see. Christopher Dougherty's asking, or however you say it. Did anybody here go to the restaurant on the way to Ennis? The one with the funny car on top of it. How was the food? We stopped, but it was pretty full and moved on. We stopped in the parking lot, but that was it. Bebo's, I think it was called.
They were not open at 1 a.m. when we rolled through there.
Like banging on the door. Come on.
What does it say?
Oh, actually, a correction. The dude said it was like 3:30.
Yeah.
Scotty went in and used the bathroom, but he left before the cops got there.
Yeah. So listen, speaking of bathroom, I need to do that again here in a minute. But when I get back, I want to talk about night driving versus running during the day. But Adam is asking for us to recap from the beginning, so I'm gonna let y'all do that.
While he cuts himself off short.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he just took off.
So, Adam, we've touched on history of cars, drag and drives. We hit on music. You should have been here on time, man. You missed out, buddy.
Where you been? Yeah, no.
We talked about the King of Destruction, my buddy Nikko over here. That guy can break anything in more pieces than you asked for. Which, like I said, man, I rib you pretty hard, but man, I love your car. That thing is so awesome to me.
Me too. I just love everything about you. I like our conversation the other day. I just enjoy, like, when I was telling you when you went to the court, just be like, is there anybody that's here for double the speed limit other than me? Okay, you amateurs need to sit down.
Yeah. I didn't cause too much of a ruckus, but I was definitely like on the top 5 on that list in the class. So it was pretty funny.
I guess you
I forgot about that. I didn't do that thing where you're saying I'm an amateur tattoo artist and a semi-professional race car driver. Yes. I forgot about that. I should have done it.
Ooh, I feel better. Okay, what did I miss?
Yeah.
What did y'all talk about?
Oh, we were talking about
Just
you.
a little recap for Adam.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, here he is. Stick car with 7.5 10-bolt. Yep, that's funny. All right, so
I was doing science for everyone else, so everyone knows it's been written down. It's well documented now, so it's about as far as you can push one of those.
That's awesome. All right, let's talk night driving versus day driving, because Jonathan talked about maybe him and Boo for 1.0 if they go doing driving at night. So Redhat, I know you've done some of that. Nikko, have you done any of the night drive forward?
I haven't done much night driving, no. Only when I'm showing up late to the track or something like that. So besides that, no, I'm usually crashing at the track because we stay at the track too. So whatever track that we're at that night, we'll crash there and just get up first thing and head out. But the night driving, like you said, 1.0, where it's so hot, it probably would benefit for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
but
real
then
quick,
you got to think about stuff like wildlife and stuff like that too at night. That is on.
Oh yeah, Jonathan knows all about female Sasquatches. So Zach says he broke 7 10-bolts in 3 months in his stick shift Trans Am. Says Nikko is family.
For sure.
So
I love Zach's F body too. That thing's awesome.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So
no, man, night driving. So that's like 112% of what we do. We always run at night. If you haven't figured out, I like to talk. I like to hang out with my friends. So we'll make a good pass early in the day, and then we'll just hang out and be one of the last ones to leave. But we do the night thing. It's always a lot cooler temperatures, a lot less traffic, and we just find it a little bit easier for us. Running through, hitting the gas stations at night, you ain't got to deal with, gas station people at daytime. And then it's so much easier for us just to roll through, we typically run 70 to 90.
Yeah.
So the night thing is our deal. We can stay up late. Doesn't bother us. We'll get to the hotel late. And like you said, you pay for the shower and, the bed.
If you get a motel.
Yeah, actually, dude said if you get a motel. That's happened more than once where you haven't been able to get one.
Yep.
Actually, speaking on that, was that 2015? No, 2017 drag week. We showed up Racing, Wisconsin, and there was like a horseshoe of hotels, and they were all sold out, except for what we call the Murder City Inn. It was literally $19.
Oh man, you're like, we just need 2 hours, bud. We're good. They're like,
oh my god, dude. So
then.
we rolled into town and we get there, went to one hotel. They're like, hey, we're sold out. Went to the next one. Hey, we're sold out. Then we get to the third one. This lady's like, hey, I can make a phone call. I'm going to call Karen or Brenda or whatever the hell her name was. It's not nice, but you can stay there. So we go over, and there is like an inch thick plate of, bulletproof glass. Like, hand her the credit card underneath.
They have one of those in San Antonio too. I stayed there.
Oh my God. So we get in there and I walk in. I've got my shoes on. I always wear, like skate shoes, DCs, ES, DVS, whatever. The carpet is crunching as I'm walking in.
Oh man.
I go in. I swear to God, I'm going to see a drug deal in our bathroom.
Yeah.
I slept in my clothes on top of the comforter.
Just ready to make a move at any minute.
Oh my God. So then, we went through the deal. We slept. We, go to leave. We talked to another guy that was like 2 rooms down. His door didn't lock.
Oh, holy shit.
The deadbolt didn't click all the way in.
That's a little dangerous.
He stuck a chair and like 3 suitcases, and I'm pretty sure the bed. He may have put the TV on the chair.
some dude knows the second door on the second floor. It doesn't lock.
It's because he stays there.
Yeah, right. That's right.
For free.
But so rolling at night, you always got to worry about that. But we're night guys. We always run at night.
So do you typically run until you don't want to drive anymore, and then you're like, hey, let's find a spot somewhere along the route? Like, how do you handle? Do you just whip into Holiday Inn Express at 3 a.m. and ring the doorbell?
Oh, Holiday Inn would be like an upgrade. We've stayed at some of the sketchiest places ever.
That's awesome.
But
It depends on what's going on the road.
yeah, like dude said, man, depends on what's going on the road. But we'll roll through part way. And there's been a couple times where I had to tell him 2.0, year before last when I hurt the motor, we were running way late the entire week. Mm-hmm. We slept on the side of the road next to like one of those power stations. Like we pulled in on the like little excess road, and I'm just like passed out over there.
Yep. That's crazy.
Dude, and I told him, I'm like, dude, like, I have to stop. Like, I swapped the motor. I made the pass last night, but, like, we have to quit.
Yeah, I have no more left. Jonathan, have y'all done much night driving, or have y'all kind of, cruise to the hotel after the track and then get up early the next morning?
Last year on 2.0, other than our little escapade after the car broke, that's the only time that we didn't do night driving. Usually ours was out of necessity, not because we planned it. But me and Boo, we actually traveled really good together at night. So what our plan is like, we weren't going to get hotel rooms because usually the hotel rooms are booked for the night after the race. Yep. So like if we drive to the next track, we can stay during that day. Yeah. And the rooms usually aren't booked. But what our plan is we're just going to drive till I got tired because Boo wears glasses or contacts and it's kind of hard for him to see at night. That's why I do all the driving. So usually when we leave the track, we'll kind of get everything ready and then we'll just go as far as the car will go and then stop for fuel. And if we need snacks or energy drink or take a leak or whatever. But we actually found that we could travel better at night and it's easier on the car and less traffic. The only thing, I did hit a raccoon let's see, that would have been in 20 on 1.0. I hit a coon in Boo's car running about 85.
Nice.
And it was a big coon. And we actually had to work on the Y pipe and a couple things, the drag link, and set the toe in again the next morning. It hit so hard.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. And like I was just sitting here thinking while you guys were talking, it was like you drive all day, you get to the track, you finally make passes where your adrenaline gets back up, especially if you make a decent pass, and you're seeing the races and stuff like that, and then you drive to the hotel and you go to sleep. Like it never works out like that. So
and you know me a little bit better than other guys on that. I can sleep anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
And as long as I'm sitting in the driver's seat, I'm fine to stay awake. Like last year or this year after 1.0, we drove all day. We drove from Nebraska to back to Great Bend, and then we raced and we loaded the car up, and I drove straight home from Great Bend. We didn't stay at Great Bend after the track like a lot of people. We just come on home.
How long was that drive back?
For me to Great Bend is like I think it's like 5.5 hours, 6 hours.
Yep.
Nope. Okay, so I know Narks is in Arkansas, Nikko's in Colorado. Stoney, where are you actually at?
I'm 1 hour straight east of Tulsa.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's like 1 hour exactly west from my front door at the shop.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Hey, real quick while we have a break. So Half-Ass Garage is asking if anybody has some YouTube channels and what's your Instagram and things like that. So we'll start with Nikko, wherever the hell you're at.
Yeah. But I got a no YouTube channel. My Instagram is my name. It's Nikko Christofori. So if you can find me on the Race Weekers page or anything like that, that's my Instagram handle. And same thing on Facebook. But other than that, I really don't have any much more social media than that.
Yeah, I need to throw that GoPro on that car next time we're together. Because, dude, it's so much fun to watch that car.
Right on.
Yep. Red Hat, what do you got, bud?
So it's still in the works. We talked about that earlier. The questionable performance solutions. We're getting ready to kick that off. I've got my real good friend Noah. We're working on it. My wife does have her Instagram. Clueless Racewife is her handle on there, and that'll show you a bunch of behind the scenes, from her standpoint of what happens.
being a race wife. Jonathan, what do you got, bud? You got are you on Instagram? Do you post on Instagram?
I have Instagram, but I actually haven't been on there probably in 6-8 months to a year. I just got it so I could follow some of the racing stuff, and there just wasn't a lot of content on there that I wanted to follow, so I never get on there. I had actually started, like I talked to you, I thought about doing a YouTube channel, just to kind of do some of this stuff, and maybe even later on after you're up and rolling good to have maybe do my own podcast. But
yeah, dude, that'd be awesome.
I've just been so busy with the racing stuff.
Yep.
I'm more geared towards the racing stuff. So like, even when I went to the track this weekend, I don't have any pictures or video or anything of the only pictures that I had, the ones that I posted, I took those off of the video that Richard took.
Nice.
And then I messaged Wendy last night because I was like, hey, did you get some pictures of the S10? Because I was in it.
I was I think Lisa got a couple good pictures. Lisa Norton, she always takes pictures of starting line stuff.
I looked through hers, but I didn't see the S10. There's lots of others, but
Yep. I know I recorded the first race, which is always a big deal for that event. I recorded the first race between you and Jan Haas.
Yeah.
So I've got some coverage. That video's coming. I promise everybody it's coming, but it's going to be like 30 minutes long. So everybody better get ready. All right. So Christopher asked, when do you sleep? I think for John, I'll answer. He sleeps whenever he gets still.
Yes.
Anytime he's like, oh man, 30 minutes. Air that mattress up. I'm gonna lay down.
I actually do. Like if I'm done racing and we're not ready to travel yet, I'll air the airbed up. Or like if we get somewhere and everybody's doing their own thing, I'll just go to the room and go to sleep. Yep. But my thing about it is I never know when I'm going to have to be up or have to travel or whatever. So I just, if I see an opportunity to get 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours, whatever, I just sleep. Like I got lucky in 19 on there was just race week then. There wasn't, there wasn't 2.0.
Yeah.
We changed the transmission in Jason's truck in the hangar while the thunderstorm was going on. And while Jason and Boo were swapping the transmission, I slept. and I got like 3 hours of sleep. So at that point, Jason had been up for almost 20 hours. So while he they got the transmission swap, so I actually drove his truck and Mikey drove the Mustang, and then Jason stayed in the truck with me, so we were inside the rules, and Boo slept in the Mustang with Mikey, so we could all keep moving because me and Mikey had slept, those two hadn't.
Yep. Yeah, and that's I think that's probably the one thing that I've never done is get a nap when I can. You know what I mean? I did sleep in the this is a funny story. So I was asleep in the cart. The only time I really passengered in the cart, I was asleep when the Motion Raceworks trailer came by getting roller shots. And I'm out in the passenger seat. So that's always a good time.
Here, guys, hang on just a second.
Yeah. Zach, are you saying that 308 speeds your setup, your Instagram and YouTube and all that kind of stuff? If you are, I'll definitely go follow that and sub and all that kind of stuff. And then half-ass. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. Get his plug in, man. Half-ass Garage.
Yeah.
What's up,
dude? His stuff is so good, and he's got a.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, extra character on there. Bobby Succotash, freaking hilarious. Love that dude. He's been on the podcast, and it's a good time. He's a great channel and small, and obviously we want to grow small channels for sure. So.
No, so touching back on Christopher Daughtry or Daughtry. Sorry, man, I butchered that. Man, if you're doing one of these events, dude, you find times to sleep. You don't get granted.
Yeah.
Either you take a nap or you don't. You know, you either stop and sleep or keep rolling. And that's what I was talking to a dude a minute ago. He brought up a good point. In 2016 Drag Week, we left and we were going out there and broke the car on the way. Somebody came and got us. We were 4.5 hours away from home. We made it back to my house, loaded back up in the dude's Focus, and drove from Kansas City to Ohio in the middle of the night. I mean, what did we leave over here, dude? It was like 1:30 in the morning to Ohio. And we cannonballed. Like he would drive so far, and he's like, "All right, I got to stop." And then I'd get in and drive so far, and then I'm like, "All right, I got to stop." We showed up to that event with 30 minutes of registration. You either got to find time to sleep or you don't sleep.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That was one of the rougher times of not sleeping.
It's pronounced door, then like a golf tee, door tee.
Door, golf, tee, door, tee. Tree.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know, man. Listen.
All right, so Christopher, have you done one of these, or are you trying to do one of them?
Yeah. I think everybody's got to do one of these at a time. Have you guys done Power Tour before?
No. Power Tour usually comes through our area. I'm literally like 30 minutes from Arrowhead, Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep. Nice.
Oh, Patty Mahomes.
Yep.
So usually, I mean, that's a good middle ground I can get within an hour of Power Tour. We've never done it, but we've gone and hung out a few times.
Yep. Yeah, we did 13. We did a couple stops, and I'll say that 5,000 cars cruising together is cool, except that by 11 a.m. there's like the dudes that are on the back roads, which is like race week stuff, and then there's the guys that are running 100 down the interstate just trying to get to the next spot to get a good parking lot, or a good parking spot. So
now, see, that's actually where I came from. I'm more of a street rod kind of guy. Like that was my deal. I grew up in the backseat of a 46 Ford sedan. That was what the dude had. So I've been back to the 50s. I've been to the Street Rod Nationals. What's the one in Springfield? The
NSR
Mid-American Nationals down there.
Yep.
And so doing all that deal, I grew up with the older cars. So Power Tour does hold a spot for me, but I don't know. They don't make the loop like, Dragon Drives do.
Yeah, you start in one spot and go to the next. Christopher said he went to the first few days of 2.0. He met us at the hotel after day 1. His dad's John, and yep. I know Fro. I remember the conversation now. Yeah, I can't ever remember anybody's name, but yep, that's too cool.
You got to have like some special deal to remember people's names,
right? Yeah. Name like Nikko's pretty easy to remember. Now the last name, I butcher it every time I talk.
Everybody does. Yeah, I have trouble saying it sometimes. So it's all right.
Okay, so Nikko, what's my last name?
Ooh, you got me, bud. I don't know.
Scotty.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, that's wild. Y'all, we've been on almost 3 hours. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for being out here that long. So let's I was gonna see if Stoney was gonna come back. I think his phone probably died, and then
he's waiting for the charger to get off the container ship.
Right. Yep. That's exactly right. What do we need to run down through here this last 10 or 12 minutes? What do we want to talk about?
Power tour has always been on my bucket list. I'll say that. I remember just reading about it in Hot Rod Magazine since like before I had a license. It just seems like something that I've always wanted to like build something to go do that. It's always been on like the bucket list for sure. So maybe that'll happen sometime.
I'll tell a funny story about the old truck. So it has it had a wore out 283 that's actually right here next to me. And it had a turbo 350 trans and a 3000 stall in a motor that made 122 horsepower or something. I mean, it was worthless, right? And so the truck would break up real bad at like 3,400 RPM, and like with that shitty stall that was 18 years old then, like it was horrible to drive. So between 2012 and 2013, I put an overdrive in it, and it was so much nicer, so quiet. You just cruise along and 1,800 RPM and all that kind of stuff. Ooh, this is a good question right here. Zach asks, what's your dream engine combo?
Let me change that. Instead of engine combo, what's your dream car?
Ooh. Yeah.
What if unlimited budget, if you could build one car, what would it be?
So man, that's hard because I have like one car that I would like leave stock, not ever touch, and just drive on cool days. It's like a 71 to 73 Jaguar XK V12, red, camel interior, camel top.
Really?
Wire wheels. Like that car to me is perfection. If I was going to do something I'd drive all the time, like a 72 SS Chevelle with the big block and 4-speed. That's my, like, that's the two there. Yeah, it's backwards.
I'd probably go for an A body too, but like a 7442 or something like that, 455 4-speed car or something like that. Yeah,
that's cool.
1969 Z28.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a cool car.
Yeah.
Which
2 and a 4-speed, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I would if I had one of those Camaros, it would be LS based. I would probably 6-speed that car.
Yeah.
But it'd be a cruiser. Speaking of those first gen Camaros, Clint Sadowski's Camaro, that's oh my God, if I could build that car, I love his car so much. And he's the nicest guy ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we talked to him in the pits one day, just walking by, and he was like, when you leave somebody and you're like, damn, I should have kept talking to them. I think those guys were one of those guys. Christopher asked how the cart ran the last couple of days. It shit the bed. We lost drive, and then lost overdrive, and then lost drive, and then lost half a first, and ended up having to leave it in Ponca City and not make the last day. So we're gonna send that ride to the moon and put LS in it.
You didn't make the last day?
Nope. No, we were literally headed that way. So the golf cart that my brother was driving lost a wheel bearing, and because it's a VR6 Volkswagen and we were in Ponca City, Oklahoma, nobody had a wheel bearing for that car. So we were going to hang out for a little bit and wait for him to get it fixed. And then end up somebody brought Jaron or something like that, brought a part from the Oklahoma City hub up to him to fix that car. So me and my co-pilot and Steven's co-pilot loaded up in the cart and took off. And we got like 40 miles away and lost drive in the cart. And so we're like, do we go at 30 miles an hour all the way to Oklahoma City, which, you know, at that point it's 100 and something miles. Or do we backtrack and jump in the golf cart and go home and then, you know, come back tomorrow and rescue the cart? So unfortunately we came back to the golf cart. We should have not done that and just went on to Oklahoma City, especially knowing, you know, halfway through, Ryan was Steven's co-pilot. He's like, man, see if it'll shift if you're in it, you know, if you're on the throttle. And it would, but we were already halfway back. And I was like, man, I'm not gonna wear this thing out going to Oklahoma City, you know, because it'd have made it. I just don't know how to rebuild a 4R70 trans in the middle of the night in Oklahoma City to make it home the next day, you know.
Oh, there's enough of us. We could have figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I got YouTube.
Yeah, well, and so after I got home, I was like, man, I'm a big old pussy for not just going on and just getting it done. And I mean, dude, like,
I'm not mad at you for it.
I know I could see putting a motor in, but like the trans stuff, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Not with a super small jack. And yeah, I was like, nah. And then I got home, I was like, that was weak. I should have just burnt that trans up, come sliding into the track, and fixed it the next day with some junkyard trans and got home. We'll do that.
Hey, there's
next
a
time.
junkyard around the corner from.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we could have done it. I mean, I don't think it. I mean, dude, like, how many Grand Marquis and Crown Vics are in the world that are probably in that junkyard right there? You know what I mean? So,
all right. So, real quick, y'all ever heard of Ed Roth?
Yeah. He's kind of a big deal.
That's the rat fink guy, right?
Oh, where's that? So I actually have the rat fink tattoo. I got that right after he passed away.
That's
and
awesome.
I made the dude go over against my wall over here and bring this down. And it ties into the Camaro thing. So back in 1994, I had him draw me a custom drawing.
Dude, that's awesome.
For 25 cents.
What?
That's crazy.
I was 94. I was 10 years old.
That's crazy.
We were at the Mid-America Nationals in Springfield. He was there.
Who was at Peoria when he did that one?
Springfield.
What did he do for you at Peoria? That's the first place you met him.
Springfield. He's trying to test me on my knowledge here. I will not forget where I got this. But so I have an original Ed Roth drawing. My house burns down.
Yeah.
I may leave some people here, but I'm getting this picture.
Yep.
But it actually says, if I can get it, love Camaros.
That's cool, man. That's too cool. What's
you know, first gen Camaros, that's my car.
And
the fact that I have this is super amazing.
What's crazy is, like, we were at Daryl Starbird's show one year, and like a ton of those like 50s, you know, car guys, they were there, and they're just all downstairs, you know, like, I don't know if you've ever been to where they do the host the show in Tulsa, but they were like all downstairs, and we're like hanging out, and we're walking around. I'm like, oh my God, hang on. That's that dude. And I can't remember their names right now, because obviously I'm just talking about it. I'm like, oh my, so like we're going around and like shaking these people's hands and like all this cool stuff. You know, I mean, it was just really a neat deal. And after everybody figured out that all those dudes were downstairs, you couldn't even get close.
Dude, so 2019, right before all the COVID stuff happened, Valentine's Day weekend, that was when Starbird Show was going on in Tulsa.
Yep.
And I found out that they restored the original Frankenstein monster truck and the monster vet.
Oh, that's cool.
I told my wife, I'm like, hey, so here's the deal.
What do you think?
No, I was like, hey, we're going to Tulsa. And I'm a huge monster truck guy. if you guys want to do a whole nother separate thing on monster trucks, I can be there all night long. So I was like, hey, Alyssa, this is what's going on. We have to go. And I love my wife. She's super awesome. She's not into racing, but she understands what it means to me.
Yeah.
So we went down there. We went to the car show and everything. And Daryl's son, Cliff, was the one that built those monster trucks in the 80s. And we went down there, saw him, and I have pictures, if you get on my Facebook, like right up against the wheel. You know, I'm in the whole deal.
That's
and
cool.
They did a little, car crush. And Alan Pizzo, that had the Predator truck in the early 90s, he was down there doing like the bigger stuff. They did the coolest thing ever. They had the old trucks side by side, just creeping up and over. And they couldn't get the vet to run. It was like a family friend or grandson or whatever that was driving the vet.
Mm-hmm.
And Cliff was out there, telling him what to do. And you could see him like waving his hand. He's like, get down, get down. He put the helmet on, climbed up, and I lost my S on this. There's like all these people that are expecting, Dennis Anderson, Gravedigger, like Monster Jam. And I'm like, you guys have no idea what's about to happen. Like, he was known for being like super, lead-footed, getting crazy with it. And he tore it up in the vet, dude. He wrecked the hell out of that vet. He slammed to the wall and like tried to take over a Kia Sorento like backwards.
Oh my God, that's cool, man.
Oh, dude. And so there's a picture of me and him later, and I told him, I'm like, dude, I grew up with you and watching all this stuff, and he's got the big smile and he had his glasses and everything. And oh, dude, it was, I've been around like a lot of, famous people, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one time that I actually like kind of lost my cool,
Fangirled out a little bit.
Oh, dude, I was like a 12-year-old girl at a Bieber concert.
That's awesome. All right, y'all. Let's cut it here. I realized I have not eaten dinner yet either. So three beers and no dinner. I think I go get me something to eat. So thanks for hanging out.
Got them pizza rolls and ranch earlier, so I was good.
Dude, I'm done. This what I need to do. So we need to do this more often. This was a ton of fun. We talked about a ton of stuff and didn't talk about anything at all. So it's perfect.
It was great.
Yeah. We got plenty of stuff for round 2 or round 3 or whatever we're going to be on next. So, all right, y'all stay with me. Everybody that stayed with us for 3 hours, thank y'all so much. I have a big announcement coming in probably the next 2 weeks. I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you guys that's gonna blow your freaking mind. So thank you and bye. We're leaving. Okay, that's